Hey Lurch, how you doing, buddy? I'm really unprepared tonight. I need to find videos. I got time. 5 hours ago. What video did you guys make earlier? I had no part in it. I was at work, so I don't know what they did. I really didn't have time to read Discord. I'm sure I could find out.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen PTU patch notes and updates, this time for the 3.2.0.
Did Ox do this one 15 hours ago? No, right? 15 hours ago. That should be pretty much new. I think I got 2 from board. Tell me if I'm wrong. So I got 5 hours and 15 hours. This should have been yesterday. Got the Star Citizen Blast cast. Watching. Citizen Gamer. Holy shit, this vaporizer's hard. I don't think I'll do that again. It probably hurt Lurch's ears. Oh my god. I quit smoking, so I do this vapor thing. That new one's strong. I don't think I like it. Think you're gonna want to do some sunk cost galaxy? Pick up where we left off there tonight, Lurch? If not, I'm supposed to make some footage after. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Or Laminal. Laminal requested me to make some footage if I can round up some people. 600i. Yep, I need pilots to fly with me after the news. We're gonna take the 600 out for a joyride and do some footage. He requested to have an escort or two and some footage looking out the back window, do a couple jumps. Yeah, so it'd be PTU unless 3.2 went live today. And I'm not aware of it. I'm unfamiliar what SO asterisk means. Alright. Star Citizen Gamer. Or Citizen Gamer, I should say. Gaming disorder. Huh. I don't have a gaming disorder. Guess I could play games. Yeah, as far as I know, PTU is the only place where we can fly the 600i.
There in Garrity's defense, I think there's one or two. So when you get to like a planet or a moon, an astral body, press B, bunch of points light up green if you can go there, orange if you're too close.
have a single shot sniper rifle with a floating. Are they still making that? Is that still a thing? You know what? I'm going to reveal something. I'm going to reveal. I'm going to rewind and go back and go, oh my god, yeah, there it is.
Hey, Lemire. Just getting things ready here. Not everybody's so smart. They have to check their spam folder in their email. It's my guess.
figure out how to get rid of this.
Lurch, did he do one from Latoya yesterday? No, right? I don't think so. I think I got 2 from Latoya. Actually got a lot today. I don't think he did this Youngblood one either from 3 days ago.
Red, do you want to feel a mining laser? Destination first. The jump leader is going to need to open the star map. Who else is going to follow along with them automatically? You need to be at a party for this to work.
For Mac Bros.
Missions. We saw this on a derelict ship. It does set. So do follow the link below. 2ATV is for Spectrum, so you can access the party.
Landing leg, so it's like multi-purpose. One way by making one animation and it's landing and wing extension basically. I do like the colours. I like this matted sort of grey, particularly in space.
Thinking about covering some lore too. Do you like lore, Lurch? Or would you rather not listen to the Galactic Historian? It can be really long. What episodes are they? Emerald Prince, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll try my best. You didn't come out with a video today, I don't think. Yeah, I'm gonna fill up my coffee. 11 minutes to go. I think I got enough videos for us to go through. Try to get some discussion going. I'll be right back. Alright, Wolf's gonna be jacked up on caffeine tonight. I don't think I missed anything. Unless 3.2 went live or something. Harvard Space Industries. No, I'm still looking for people. I just need 2 pilots. One for the escort and one for the 600i. I can spawn the ships. And then I need 4 like people to run crew for the 600i. We're gonna do like an escort behind the 600i, and we'll be able to look at the escort ship through the back glass. We want to go through a jump that way if we can. And we're going to do another jump and go check out some moons and some asteroids. Anything going on in Soda I should know about? I've been working with Alphane, trying to build my character out. I think I'm like level 91 or something like that now. 91. My honest opinion, I would like 2 more bars to have lockdown skills on. Combat, whatever you want. And then have the random deck in the middle. Maybe like have a sidebar on the right side and another bar to the right. That would fix that game. Either that or just let people drag the tiles where they want them to be and give people an option to kind of mess with their UI a little bit. talked to Chris about, I don't know, about 2 years ago on Discord about that. And other things. Like when they implement the horses, I told them to check out, I told him and Lord British both to make sure they check out Black Desert Online, because the horses are done like extremely well there. So if they could have anything close to that for their mounts, that would greatly help the game be more popular. I don't think it's, I don't know if they can do it or not. Horses are pretty good in that game. I'll show you the horses real quick with my 1 minute left. Playlists. Oh, shot of the Avatar. No, wrong game. Black Desert. I got what? Black Desert. Figures I'm not riding a horse anywhere in this video. Alright, it is showtime. Time for the moon to come out. All right, another Wednesday. Star Citizen news. Got some videos lined up. Looks like we got 2 videos from board. We got Star Citizen with his blast cast number 139. We got a guy we haven't played yet on the stream, but I like him because his videos keep getting better and better every time. He's getting, I think this is a good one for him. First time he ever, I don't know. We're gonna listen to the Daylight Gamer. And then after that, Minion Soldier came in with one. And there's a couple more here. And if some people want to continue on the sunken cost Galaxy series that we started a couple weeks ago, if you guys want to watch some of those, we can continue on that. And then after that, we're going to go into some Star Citizen gameplay, where I got a request from the Laminal for some footage of a 600i with an escort. So I'm looking for 2 pilots and about 4 people that want to be like crew. So you guys want to fly in Star Citizen PTU tonight, just let me know, and we'll grab you, put you in Discord with me, and we'll fly around with the 600i and get some footage for Laminal's video. So we'll start off with this video right here. Word Gamer. Patch notes and changes. Yep. Let's do it.
And welcome to some more Star Citizen patch notes and changes for the 3.2.0 K patch on the PTU. They have made changes to the Probe Destroy style missions, and they're asking for feedback on the mission difficulty and rewards. I'll link the patch notes and the feedback thread below for that. Other changes, they've changed the engage behavior of AI pilots so they don't break away as far or as often. They've updated the ATC.
Is Board's video loud enough?
To help clarify landing designations. They've added an armistice or green zone around Grimhex for the current patch. They've moved some missions over to General from the Personal tab. They've updated the Prospector's flight behavior to be similar to Precision mode when it's in mining mode. They've added impact effects for numerous new and old weapons where they were missing. They changed the thruster color of the 600i from gold to blue, reduced the red reflection on the interior cockpit of the blade, increased radar range in Arena Commander to make all ships detectable. They fixed an issue where shopkeepers were looking in the wrong direction during interactions. It should no longer be possible to find loopholes that allow you to unstall your weapons within armistice zones. They fixed an issue that prevented previous mission spawns from being cleared up prior to the next mission. Another attempted fix for players becoming stuck in the pilot's chair, unable to control their ships, has been implemented. The player should now properly raise their gun when up against a wall. Mission giver notifications should no longer have title text. Fixed an excessive texture culling from the pilot's point of view in the 600i. The yaw and roll animations on the Vanguard switch should no longer be switched. There's been a possible fix for the Levski elevators becoming unresponsive that was plaguing the verse. They shifted the nose weapon hardpoint of the Vanguard to avoid size 5 weapons clipping into the landing gear. Entering remote turrets should no longer remove flight functionality on the parent ship. Switching from Comlink to another Mobiglass app should no longer cause the Mobiglass to close and reopen. They've also fixed 7 client crashes and 2 server crashes. There are some known issues with the patch still, some of which they haven't fixed from last time. Various problems with quantum travel linking. The calibration audio would continue to play even after the calibration process is completed, and even for non-calibrators. Attempting to quantum link when you had another player in one of your ship's seats would cause a crash. Quantum travel spool indicators were missing from, and are still missing from the flight HUD. Calibration UI is missing from the Gladius. Attempting to quantum travel to an...
Oh, that was my fault. What I said was... that's a lot that they fixed already. Maybe I'll have a better luck this time when I go in. Seems like they fixed a lot.
Invalid nav marker, such as obstructed nav markers, will put the drive into a broken state that requires the ship to be claimed and replaced. So bear that in mind if you're like, why is my drive spawning? Why can't I quantum travel? Escort missions do not progress past the rendezvous stage. So do not do escort missions, pretty much. Leaving a player behind in quantum linking can break the functionality of quantum travel. There's a large drop in frame rates when performing ping scans on the surface of moons with the Prospector as well at the moment. And gimbals are currently locking onto AI ships when activating gimbal lock, which is interesting because they track them and it's not intended. So some other stuff. ESP, enhanced stick precision, is still being dialed in to make the game much more enjoyable for joystick and gimbal locked users. Once it's in a good place, that's going to be pretty cool. Also, they are addressing the broken elevators at Levski that made the area less than playable. I also found that setting gimbal lock to a keybind and using that rather than setting weapon lock enabled on by default means that you don't get the dead zone when using the mouse that I was complaining about in the last patch notes that I did. You can find the key there if you're having the same issue that I did in the flight targeting section of the controls. However, With ESP being dialed in and none of my sensitivity options tweaked, I'm finding it quite hard to fly. It's like learning to fly again. A few hours in the live build and I'm pretty sure I'll be passable as a pilot again though. This patch does seem to have a bit of server instability as well. I've seen a crash at least once an hour. On the plus side, it does look like bed logging works a good amount of the time consistently as well. So make sure to log out in your bed where possible.
Does that mean that it's crashing once an hour? Hope it's not crashing once an hour. Not good.
If you want to save your position. This month's featured spotlight is the Daymar Rally, and they're giving away a rally pack of a Tumbril Cyclone and an Aegis Vulcan, which coincidentally is all the hardware you need to enter the rally. The Daymar Rally is an annual community organised event which is set to have its inaugural endurance race on the 27th of January 2019. There will be 3 divisions over a 300-kilometre course set on Crusader's moon, Daymar. It is an in-game event, and I am very much up for these. A 4-person crew can sign up their team now with a ground vehicle and support vehicle. More info, the sign up, and complete rulebook can be found on daymarrally.com. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that rally pack, though, is be subscribed to my channel and comment on any of my videos throughout June. 1 per video. Each video gives you another chance to win. Also, I'm working with Shadow, which is a cloud-based subscription gaming PC service that gives you an alternative to upgrading, but also as a gaming PC anywhere. I'm trying to make the service as Star Citizen friendly as possible, but please check that out again in the description below if you're interested, and using the promo code BORDGAMER will give you a discount too if you decide that you like it. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse. Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen patch notes and changes for the 3.2.0 K patch on the PTU. They have made changes to the Probe Destroy style missions, and they're asking for feedback on the mission difficulty and rewards. I'll link the patch notes and the feedback thread below for that. Other changes, they've changed the engage behavior of AI pilots so they don't break away as far or as often. They've updated the ATC, the air traffic control landing pad highlights, to help clarify landing designations. They've added an armistice or green zone around Grimhex for the current patch. They've moved some missions over to general from the personal tab. They've updated the prospector's flight behavior to be similar to precision mode when it's in mining mode. They've added impact effects for numerous new and old weapons where they were missing. They changed the thruster color of the 600i from gold to blue, reduced the red reflection on the interior cockpit of the blade, increased radar range in Arena Commander to make all ships detectable. They fixed an issue where shopkeepers were looking in the wrong direction during interactions. It should no longer be possible to find loopholes that allow you to unstall your weapons within armistice zones. They fixed an issue that prevented previous mission spawns from being cleared up prior to the next mission. Another attempted fix for players becoming stuck in the pilot's chair, unable to control their ships, has been implemented. The player should now properly raise...
No, this is a new one.
Properly raise their gun.
This is, oh, wait a minute. Holy
Hello
crap.
and welcome to some more...
That's not what I clicked on. Yeah, I got video to prove it. Yes, this is different, but really similar title.
Hello and welcome to wanted level. They've updated the comm array screen interactions as well. There's been some 600i changes. They've upgraded the coolers, the shield generator, the turret weapons all to size 3, and they've added armor to the ship. They've improved the linear acceleration and jerk, and slightly increased afterburner speed as well as HP. They've reduced the afterburner top speed of the Reclaimer. The remote turrets of the Reclaimer should now function. They've updated ship computer.
Yeah, he
audio
does that a
responses.
lot.
They've increased the range of G-forces and GFX and reduced the breathing audio trigger threshold. Updates to ping blobs along with function changes to radar focus zoom has been done. They've corrected the hardpoint size for the K2AL's shield. The quantum cooldown bar should no longer stay on the UI after cooldown is complete. Quantum travel should no longer be able to be activated while on cooldown. The Aquila should no longer be able to equip the extra missiles available on the Andromeda. The co-pilot of the Urza should now have working exit interaction nodes. Players should no longer be able to travel through the moon when orbital quantum traveling. Scanning should no longer reveal mineable rocks on the other side of the moon. Chat history on the Mobiglass Comlink app should now be retained. Calibration audio should no longer persist on the slave ship when quantum linked. Players should now be able to quantum travel directly to the beacon for escort missions. Mining resource radar and UI locators should now correctly reflect rock locations. However, I have seen some that still spawn the UIs when there are no rocks there. The 600i should now have a radar. The beds should now work on the Avengers. They fixed an issue that caused the cargo grid value of the Avenger Titan to decrease. They fixed an issue where the captain's quarters and the Reclaimer lacked collision in the rear. Laranite should spawn correctly in mineable rocks. Players should no longer be able to linger directly above a landing pad without penalty. Sniper scopes should no longer be attached to the barrels of some weapons that we've seen previously on the FPS weapon side of things in shops. They've corrected the contact UIs. The VMA, the Vehicle Manager app, should no longer show all weapons as available, even those mounted on other ships, and now allows players to select which ships to pull from. They fixed 5 client crashes and 6 server crashes as well. Now, there are still some major known issues with the patch. The blade is missing its weapons. The quantum travel spool indicator is missing from flight HUDs. The calibration UI is missing from the Gladius. Attempting to quantum travel to an obstructed marker will put the drive into a broken state that requires the ship to be claimed and replaced, unfortunately. Escort missions do not progress past the rendezvous stage. If a player is left behind in quantum linking, it can break the system, and the master ship can still send calibration data further than intended. But they have fixed a lot of the previous
You think I played the same video twice?
Actually, remember, everyone with a game package
This is looking really
has
familiar.
access to test this PTU, but there is a live build coming in the next few days as well, so it might be worth waiting for that. It is a bit buggy, the PTU, so bear that in mind. I'll link details of where to download the PTU if you can't wait for that. But please tell me what you think. Are you happy with the changes that they're making? Are you playing in the PTU? What do you think of the current PTU patches? What do you want them to get sorted with? Some of these things that they're dialing in, because they do look like they're dialing IFCS and ESP at the moment, and it would be great to have a really solid combat and flight models for 3.2 when it goes live. This month's featured spotlight is the Daymar Rally, and they're giving away a rally pack of a Tumbril Cyclone and an Aegis Vulcan, which coincidentally is all the hardware you need to enter the rally. The Daymar Rally is an annual community organised event which is set to have its inaugural
Okay, here's a link to this video. And it is different than the other video. So yeah, we watched them, right? So on that video, if you go there and leave a comment, you get another entry in this this contest. I agree, Merrick. I agree. Okay, so next up we got Citizen Gamer. Usually comes out with videos on Tuesdays for us. And it's last cast. The good and the bad. might speed it up when they ramble. If you don't like that, say something and I'll put it back to normal speed.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Blastcast. I am Jarvis. With me always is the man who likes hard cider, Lightning Dragon.
It's actually really not that good.
He's a little tipsy today, so we should get the best out of him.
Oh, yeah, because I've had like 4 drinks, and like actual like drinks, not like whole bottles.
Well, let's get into this week's Star Citizen news. We're going to combine the Around the Verse and the Reverse the Verse. Since it's pretty much the same thing, it's all about grouping. And let's go over the other things they talked about this week. So let's go ahead and move into calling all devs. Now, one of the questions was about what does CIG plan to do to punish griefers while still allowing pirates to do their job. Now, they went into a discussion about the system that's going to be coming into place that creates law bubbles once they create the law system. Patterns can be recognized and noticed. So, for example, if someone comes up and blows up some guy, takes his stuff, that's fine. But, for example, every time Bob comes out of the hangar, Joe blows him up, the system will recognize this as griefing. Now, the system won't be able to catch everything, so basically they're going to have to do some human monitoring, and I guess that's going to mean the player can do some reporting,
Griefing.
and then they can examine what was done and kind of go from there.
I didn't do
It's
it.
not unexpected. Most
Believe
MMOs
me.
have a certain level of hands-on when it comes to the way that people interact with one another.
I know you don't have it highlighted, but I think this is kind of funny. They asked about weapon modifications, and it's like, yes, that's going to be in the next game, but we don't have the things in the game, the assets, so you can't do it.
Oh, yeah, for ship weapons. Well, it's good to know they're actually going to give us that kind of flexibility on ship weapons.
Now, if only we had something else that tied in with that to make combat better.
Like flight?
Yeah, that's the one.
Hey, at least they're still focusing on guns and DPS.
That's all that matters, apparently.
And then we went over to a question to John Crew. If large ships are meant to be unable to outrun fighters, then why don't their guns have the range needed to engage them before they get too close? Now, his answer was that these weapons should in fact be longer range, but many of these changes are coming into 3.2. I don't have any problems with the higher classification weapons having longer ranges and whatnot. It still
There's a
doesn't
fatal
address...
flaw with the system.
Well, yeah, for starters, for example, well, let's use the ship we're going to talk about today, 600i. Having those fixed forward guns, the best you can hope for is to run really, well, probably the wrong word with the current stats. I was going to say really fast. Say as fast as you can, decouple, and then try to line up your guns that way. But with the pacing, it doesn't matter how much range you've got, really. The vector changes how quick they are. In fact, at further distances, it's going to be even harder to hit, so it's a lose-lose. They need to focus on their flight model and get things moving the right way. Otherwise, I don't care what kind of range you give guns.
Yeah, any
Not gonna matter.
griefing I get is definitely payback for past gaming
If you
experiences.
find a destroyer at long range, your shells are in the air for upwards of up to like 5 seconds. That destroyer is probably not going to be anywhere where you aimed once those shells land there. And, you know, you fire so slow between them, doesn't matter how long your range is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would have to say, because I alpha tested and beta tested and played Ultima Online from day one, that I'm probably one of the original griefers. Like, probably one of the people that started it all. Eric, you know how long ago that was. I can't remember, but I want to say that was like 89, 88, the alpha test was.
All right, well, let's move into the main subject of the show, which was talking about 3.2, the good and the bad. We like to talk about things on this channel that are good and bad. We're not going to just white knight shill everything, so let's go ahead and jump.
I only talk about bad things. That's why I exist.
That's your... Well, yeah.
It's kind of funny. I feel like as we've done this, it's like you're always trying to point out the good things, and I'm like, but don't forget about all the crappy things.
You are my other half. So let's start with the good things. Mining, very solid. It's at a very good tier 0 implementation place. It's engaging. It's interesting. I think it is very hopeful to see what the mining mechanics are going to be on something like the Orion. And right now, it seems to be probably one of the most expedient ways for you to make money in the PU.
Until they nerf it.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, that's true. Cargo used to be pretty good.
I think I put Lurch to sleep. Either that or he got another call from work.
Over 1,600 credits in, I'd say, about 5 to 10 minutes. So not too bad. Way better than going out and getting a mission where you risk your life for 300. Logging out of your ship's bed, you'll now log back into your ship. That's fantastic. We've been waiting for that implementation for a long time. So if you don't want to go back to Port Olisar and your ship has a bed, just park it, go to your bed. When you log back in next time, you're right there again.
Yeah, hopefully this will stop some of the, if you get disconnected, your ship doesn't just disappear and it's like, oh, you have to file an insurance claim, because that's really annoying.
Yeah, I've actually logged back in after being disconnected. I think they give you a 5-minute window. Now onto the Eclipse. I do not like the visibility of the cockpit. The rest of the ship, I like the aesthetics of it, but the visibility in the cockpit is terrible. If you take a look at the front of the Eclipse, you see that about 40, maybe even 50% or more of the glass is blocked by the control panel. I don't get this thinking.
Yeah, you'll make me cry if you tell me I put you to
slide down
sleep.
and forward, take that chair, and move it down and forward, and you can look up again. Having the panel above you block your view is well, it's a little unwieldy. The Avenger rework, that is a damn nice rework. Now, for those of you who own an Avenger, this is all gravy. And for those looking for a starting ship, once again, the Avenger could not be praised higher as the best place to start. And now after these changes, even better. There's still some visual bugs there, but that'll be hammered out. Now, on to a little bit of what some people are saying on the forums related to 3.2. Some people are upset that the pacing of the game makes it hard for them to manage energy on their systems. I wonder where we've heard this before, Lightning.
Oh, man, I have no idea. I don't think anybody's ever talked about this, ever.
No, it couldn't have been us like more than a year ago bringing up the fact pacing would cause problems with MFDs. We're completely clueless on this.
Yeah, or maybe there's somebody else out there, they might know.
So my suggestion, since we're dealing with the power systems now, is that triangle it's pretty unwieldy. I've never been a fan of it. It's not accurate. Plus the fact that every time you try to adjust it, your head is bobbing and you're not getting it exactly where you want it. It's a real pain in the ass. So as unfortunate as it is, I'm going to refer to Star Trek Online's power system. I feel terrible for having to refer to this game because it's not a good game, but this system would actually work. Now, instead of having a triangle, what you can do is have bars that you can set power levels to. Now, for example, if you raise up one bar, say by 10, the other two bars go down by 5. And if you want to only pull power off of one particular system when you raise another, you simply lock the bar into position that which you want to keep at the same level.
For those that haven't played Star Trek Online, you have a certain allotment of power based on your ship. So you may have like 200 power to spare, so you could have like do things at like 70 and everything else at like 5 or 4 or 10 or something.
Exactly. Then you create an overall power bar just next to it, and you use this bar to quickly drop power levels down to everything to have a more stealthy level, and it can all be done in a very tight package, along with, for example, 3 pre-saved settings that you can use and quickly access by pressing, for example, 1, 2, or 3. You can have a combat, a stealth, a defensive, whatever. And instantly the power levels will change over, and then of course the power will need to move, and that will take time, but at least you can quickly do it without grabbing individual bars. I just find it to be a very simple way of using a trio system like this. It's visually understandable. If you look at the picture, you'll see that those little triangles are pointing at the current level, and the green is the things that go past that. So if you have something that takes the power past the point, like an overflow, it's basically saying, here's the minimum that we want power to go to. Let's use the one on the right, for example. Let's say that the green bar pulls down to the level the arrow is. They'll start pulling power off of the other systems down to their arrow until basically there's nothing left to pull, and it holds everything there. Either you stop firing or, things just start running out of power.
Yeah, or everything starts running out of power and the ship starts warning you.
Exactly. But it sets a priority.
And as you were saying 3. I'm assuming you're talking about like shields, engines, and weapons, right?
Yeah.
I would just like to see a 4th option, maybe not on all ships, but when you start getting into the larger ships, like a Connie, Freelancer, and things like that, or very specialized ships, they'd have like an additional like reserve power, which Star Trek had that reserve power. And this could act kind of like WEP, which was wartime emergency power from World War II, I believe.
In Wing Commander, you had to do that. Rotate from right and left. I don't think there was a top and bottom shield in the Wing Commanders, but you had to rotate from right to left to try to get them to hit you, so you'd fly upside down and get them to hit the other side.
If that was the acronym, you think of it like a battery storage, and you have this much extra power. So if you want to keep things at a very, very high level, you could like block them, or it'd just be a default setting depending on how the ship works. And we'll start pulling from those emergency reserves as your power started getting lower than what your demand was. So it's like you want to have 75% power in your weapons, but you're firing so much it's dropping below that. It'll start pulling from your reserves, if you allow such, to keep you at that 75. And once you're out of that, then that's it, and it would take a long time to recharge. And having something like this would either allow you to keep up the fight more, like if you're in a heavy fighter or some kind of interceptor where you need that extra power in your guns, or if you're in a ship that has really high defenses, it'll keep your guns firing while your shields take all the brunt, or maybe you make sure that it goes into your shields to keep you going until you can warp out of there or something.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Aux power large ships makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that's why Star Trek is a great example for this. I mean, they're always like auxiliary power to such and such.
Now let's get into my big bugaboo, the 600i. Now let's start with the aesthetics. Obviously the ship blew up in size. It's now the size roughly of a Starfarer. That's fine. I get that sometimes, and that was talked about briefly after, well, even during the pledging, it was very clearly known that this change was coming. But it feels in some regards that the internals haven't been adjusted for this change in size. There is a lot of empty or wasted space, which I'm not totally against. Aesthetically speaking, I mean, I can totally get the ability of wanting to move around. It just feels like they could have added a bit more to the interior. For example, like I personally believe that having the exploration seats way in the back was fine when the ship was, 30 meters shorter. But instead of having them in the room behind, they could move the chairs to the bridge and have that globe behind the captain's chair. Would all be encompassed in one area. The way they are right now is kind of weird because they face out, and the globe is on the other side of a glass wall, and they're not even facing it. So if they need to reference it, they have to like turn backwards, like past 90 degrees, to look at the globe to their right or to their left, depending on where you're sitting. So that's a little bit of an odd choice.
I really like this ship.
There's a bar in the back.
You gonna be able to come in and fly with me, Lurch, tonight? For a little bit, long enough to make that video? It'll probably take us an hour.
How come the bartender gets the good view? As I said, these are nitpicky things, but generally speaking, I think aesthetically, it's a really well done ship. Now, dealing with one thing that's, I guess, technically nitpicky because it's a game and it doesn't really matter except if you're into aesthetics. The little arms that hold on the turrets. It looks like they're being held on by like a 1x1 piece of rebar. And it looks like the first time you turn,
if your internet's fast, start it if you can. It took me like under an hour, but I got really fast internet.
Turrets would.
You can update the other one too. You don't have to do. If you already have the PTU installed, you can just update it. Oh no, bad bandwidth. It's not good.
Snap right off and float into space. I don't know why they couldn't have gone with like a periscoping solid round tube or something that would have been a bit more solid looking.
You serious? There's an upskirt window under the bar?
Matter except if you're into aesthetics. The little arms that hold on the turrets. It looks like they're being held on by like a 1x1 piece of rebar. And it looks like the first time you turn, the turrets would snap
Holy
right off.
shit, there it is.
Why they couldn't have gone with like a periscoping solid round tube or something that would have been a bit more solid looking.
Nice, nice. Upskirt window confirmed.
I think it could use maybe a bit more detail or at least aesthetically blend a bit better, but generally speaking, it's functional. So, I'll take it.
What if the bartender was in the middle of the room on one of those spinny like showroom things where they have like a car, and it spins in a circle, so you have a full 360-degree view if you're sitting at the bar at all times?
Well, they had the room for it. The back area where that table is, it's like everything blew up, right? Everything got bigger, but like the table didn't. It's weird. It's like you're a hobbit inside of a normal person's ship in some regards. It's like things scaled up. Some things did, some things didn't, and there's like this is an odd disconnect. Maybe they'll fix or adjust some of that stuff over time.
One can hope.
The big problem with this ship is in the parts. It's basically a Starfarer-sized ship that has the components of a freelancer. What happened is that people were complaining about the fact that you can, for example, blow off a wing with a single pistol shot, and it has 3 thrusters attached to it. So 2 pistol shots, and you take off 6 thrusters. That seems a little weak.
That's because it's a beeper clip.
It's really starting to feel like it. You talked about that when the ship was first played.
When they first showed that thing, it's like, is it sitting in something? Please tell me it's sitting in something.
Well, apparently it is, because you shoot 2 bullets, and that thing sheds it just like taking a beeper out of the case.
Yeah, and then unfortunately the beeper case has a bunch of your thrusters attached to it.
What I thought they should do is add some internal support struts, just thin ones that are on the inside that connect it to the main body, and then you have more connection points and it looks a little bit more solid.
There's this thing that they do with naval ships and even airplanes, is they'll have a very thin strip that runs from the front and back of something, and it gives you stabilization, either in water or in air, and they could have those running all the way along the clip, because that's what I'm going to call it forever. It's not space armor, it's clip. And another thing they could do is they could just put a hole in the clip and have the thruster attached to the main body, so even if the clip gets blown up, you don't lose your thrusters.
Yeah, all sorts of solutions.
It's such a simple... I don't understand what they're doing half the time when it takes anybody can come up with these ideas.
Well, even with all these complaints, our new head of ship production pipeline, John Crew, said that the ship has all that it needs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, like a Ferrari getting a Chevy Metro engine, it has everything it needs to barely function and move. Now, the thing is that we've already seen John Crew before, and we talked about him, maybe not directly by name, but I'm just going to do it this time because it's getting annoying. He's not a passionate developer, and I'm going to show you why I say that. There's a clip here from an infamous show, and I'll have a link to the entire show down below, where they got into flight balance issues. Of course, they really didn't address anything, and, well, I'll let you see it for yourself.
Many of us feel that pilot control of gimbaled weapons, especially with regards to zero-order mouse control of those gimbals, takes the game very far from what was pitched as a successor to Wing Commander. This has been the biggest ongoing source of strife and argument in the forums for the past 3 years. I don't know about that, but yeah, but I'm just reading the question. Can you please address this and give us some idea of how you plan to go forward? So this is obviously a mouse versus joystick question.
It's the classic, the age-old argument of which is better. It's not the glamorous side that everyone wants to No, it's kind of hard to find people to do controls. Yeah.
Now you can kind of see that why this kind of attitude, this kind of thought process is creating a roadblock to making flight better. They just, oh no, it's fine the way it is. Oh, there's no problem. Let's rephrase the question and ignore what was actually asked, answer something that wasn't, and stare blankly to the camera. That one, of course, is John Crew. That's Lando. Having made flight controls utterly terrible in every sense of the word, he's now failed upwards to become the head of the ship pipeline. So I'm going to make a recommendation here. If you're going to buy a ship in Star Citizen, don't buy any of the upcoming pledges, any new concepts. Stay away. He's going to be in charge of getting those implemented. They're going to be as terrible as the 600 Eyes components. I have a feeling we're going to have to go through this nearly on every ship because he knows best. It doesn't matter if the ship was promised to be something a certain way. It doesn't matter what it says. John Crew's going to do what John Crew does. There's tons of other ships out there. Once again, Avenger Titan, damn good ship, form and function. But there's no way I have any interest in pledging anything Star Citizen has to put out again, as long as I know John Crew is in charge of the ship production pipeline. Not happening. Not happening. I'd rather flush my money directly down the toilet. I would get more use out of it watching it spin.
It's the new.
Oh yeah, the Vanguard. Yeah, they totally Vanguarded the ship.
It's the Vanguard all
not in
over
looks,
again.
but definitely in function. The ship has all the survivability of a fart in a windstorm. As I said, 2 pistol shots, you have your wings torn off. It is garbage. It was supposed to be the fastest in its class. It says, oh yeah, but we upsized it. It's like, yeah, but you kept that pledge alive even after you upsized it. The Reclaimer is faster than it. The Reclaimer.
So the Reclaimer can go up to it, grab it with a big claw arm,
Yeah.
and then instantly break off the beaver clip and salvage the beaver clip.
Why waste the energy with a claw now? All you have to do is have a guy open the side doors with with the airlocks and just shoot right out the side, and then just worry about picking out the main body. But it's just insulting. Now let me go ahead and put up a screen here, and I'll give you an example because these parts haven't changed and they upsized everything. Now the left one is the 600i, the middle one is the Caterpillar, and the right one is the Starfarer. Now remember, this ship is now Starfarer sized, and it's supposed to be a deep space exploration vessel that's high on speed, high on maneuverability, and high on defense. It's neither of those. They kept all these components, and all you have to do is let's just use the Starfarer primarily. Now the reason you see 2 sets of stats on the Caterpillar in the middle is because the smaller one is going to be for the separating module that's actually the bridge, so you can just ignore those and just look at the ones that are the largest of the two if there's 2 stats. This thing doesn't even have the fuel capacity to go further than a Caterpillar. It's a deep space exploration ship, but it has everything that it needs, apparently.
Plus, it's got some hyper-efficient engines.
I'm just going to let you look at that. You can pause the video. You can go to the website, pull this up yourself. I'm not going to it's too painful to deal with on that. This needs to be fixed and adjusted because it does not have everything it needs. What it has is everything it needs for a pirate to get free loot.
More loot pinatas. Just what we always wanted.
Now, lastly, I thought we would be done with the show.
Loot
How it was put together
pinatas!
suddenly. While John Pritchett appears, he put out a post, which I'll also leave linked down below, which gives details on the breakdown of how IFCS works, and it is really worth the read. Now, I'm going to read.
Yeah, we got some salt there, definitely, Josh. Some big time salt dumping.
You a quote from this paper that I think perfectly surmises the situation that the game is in. And this regards how IFCS works and how he had to build it based on what CIG wanted. The downside of this approach is that it is possible to achieve any desired performance for a ship, regardless how realistic. If a designer wants to tune an Idris to go from 0 to 1 kilometer a second, this system will generate thrust capacities that will allow the ship to achieve this performance, regardless of whether it is reasonable. If care is not taken, a ship can end up with, for example, a small diameter MAV generating several million newtons of force, while a larger diameter main generates only a fraction of that amount. While this would be strictly realistic within the simulation, it would not be reasonable. Based on in-fiction tech limits, thrusters should maintain a general relationship between size and capacity. This limitation is not enforced by the simulation. It is entirely up to the designer to balance desired performance goals against realistic physical behaviors for each ship. Basically what he's saying there is that it's not my engine. My engine works, but what is put into it creates the situation that we have.
I believe we've already done a video on this, and I was very tempted to make an updated version of this, but you're like, nah, it's not worth it, dude.
If you check the link down below, there's going to be the John Pritchett's post. I replied to him, and we spent some back and forth, okay? Check the link in the Spectrum. I also linked the videos that we're talking about in here, where we use Kerbal as an example to show the overpowered thrusters. John Pritchett found it very interesting. And then I linked a little bit further down the creating variation in flight and how these principles apply. I think it's very important for the community to know this flight situation is not John Pritchett's fault. This is basically, you've got one set of guys over here who believe that this controller has to do this and this controller has to do this, and then the weapon systems have to be balanced differently between this and this, completely disregarding the fact that some ships going to have to use that other weapon system anyway, and not coming up with unified systems and just mishmashing and jamming and not understanding what's going on and not having any passion for what they do, and it shows. And then to make all this work, they have.
It is the definition of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think the fuel range, I mean, the range of it definitely on the Explorer version. I'm not saying the other version, but definitely on the Explorer version needs to be increased.
Yeah, there's like no centralized thought process outside of having, here's a nice engine, and then you have all these people like trying to wrap all the stuff around it. You know, they're turning the game into, well, the Homer. If you ever run the Simpsons episode, that's what it's the Homer. It's the ultimate ugly car. It's
can
not,
do
the engine's
everything.
fine. Yeah, exactly. It's got, tank treads on the back, triangle wheels in the front. The steering wheel's covered in spikes because it looks cool. It may cut your hand, but whatever.
Got a coffee maker.
Yeah, it's got a coffee maker right on your lap for some reason. So it's ready to go. But
right between your legs, right in spilling range.
Exactly. It just saves time. So the whole point, though, is that read this paper. I think it's like 21 pages. Add your thoughts to this in that forum. You're going to find like I said, the links to my video and the replies that I had. There's 2 videos. If you're interested, they're time-stamped. Give them a watch. But yeah, thank goodness that he wrote this. Thank goodness he put this out there, because if you pay attention, you can see what he's saying. And what he's saying is, I didn't do it. It's them. Maybe this will open up some conversation. So once again, I'd like to thank John Pritchett for making that paper, for doing what he's been doing. I know you probably have to fight through a lot of BS because you're knowledgeable, you understand how things work, you understand physics. These other guys don't understand flight, and the two don't mix.
They're just trying to have values, goals, and the system will do those goals because it's overpowered. It's designed to be used for everything, so it has the ability to do everything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it should.
Yeah, in a brief summary, if you don't want to go watch the video where we use KSP. Yeah, in a brief basically, if the engine can do 1,000 kilonewtons of thrust or whatever, if you give it that 1,000 all at once, it basically blows the ship up.
Yeah, it kills the pilot before that even happens.
Yeah, if you're in atmosphere, you get re-entry heat at 500 feet off the ground and you explode. But if you don't go to 100%, it can fly like any other vehicle, and that's basically the problem.
Yeah, too much in. All right, later this week, I continue my explorations into DCS. We are approaching the 30-day mark where I will be doing a video answering, do I want DCS in space, and if so, what parts? Just to let you know as well, for those interested in DCS until July 5th, they're running a 50% off sale for pretty much everything in the game, I think, with the exception of 3 modules, the F-18 Hornet, Saudi Arabia, and a new Mirage mission pack, I think it came out. But everything else, I mean, literally everything else outside of that is half off. So if you're ever interested in looking at the base game is free, and you can get the basic Flaming Cliffs 3 expansion, which will give you like 8 additional planes for like $25 or something like that. Maybe it's 29, but something in that area. Good deal all around. Now because of the sale, I did snag several new planes and pretty much every mission related to them because I love this game. And I even managed to snag Lightning Dragon, the L-39, which allows 2 people to fly in the same plane. And so we went out for the first test flight ever in this plane.
Use the Force.
Yep, and he did test my Jedi abilities by blinding me, and you'll get to see all that stuff too, because he's kind of a dick as a Rio, so.
Well, I mean, if I had more things to do and not just play with all the buttons, because it's a full sim airplane, so all the buttons.
Yeah, watching my warning lights going off. What does this do? Do. Stop it.
Yeah, and what is it? The air conditioning? I turned it off, and it didn't turn back on. It was just stuck off.
Yeah, you broke my air conditioning. Thanks.
I think I broke my air conditioning. I don't know about yours.
I had lights. All right, everyone. Well, that's about it for this week's Blastcast. As always, leave your comments and suggestions down below, and we will see you on the next one.
Woohoo! I mean, bye.
He's drinking too much.
I have.
Drinking too much. All right, next up. We're going to do the video that I talked about by the Day Late Gamer. We've never done one of his videos before. But he's getting better. He's getting better every time. Yes, you can drink too much. I know this because the effects of alcohol don't settle in me too well. So I can drink a lot, and a lot, and a lot, and I won't be drunk, but I'll breathe drunk. My blood will be drunk. But then the next day, it's like I drank so much that I poisoned myself. Oh yeah, you can drink too much. Do it all the time. Trust me. Good at it. Real good at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to Special Edition Star Citizen Alpha 3.2 PTU. And boy, do I have some good news for you. So, as you may or may not be aware, the 3.2 PTU is now open to all backers. That's right. So, regardless of what level or regardless of really anything, as long as you have an account and a game package, you can get the PTU right now. The way that you want to do that is going to robertspaceindustries.com, sign into your account, go to the hangar tab, go to your account, click on settings, and near the left, Public Test Universe should be lit up in yellow. One of the cool new things in 3.2 is this. So right here, this is actually a weapons kiosk. Now, if you go to these kiosks, you can buy all the associated items from that shop, but this time you can buy with multipliers. What do I mean by that? Well, look at this right there. I can buy a couple of med packs now. Don't have to buy them one at a time, like, you know, talk, buy, talk, buy, talk. No, that shit is gone. A bunch of these kiosks are now installed all around. There's a couple over at the admin station, as you saw there in Garrity's defense. I think there's one or two in the armor place. It is a huge welcomed change. Next thing you might notice is a big welcome change as well, the frame rates. Now, for me, I started to get incredible performance with the 3.2 patch while in PTU. Admittedly, there weren't as many people playing at the time, but, you know, this footage right here I took literally just earlier today, like right here. This is during open PTU footage, and as you can see, my frames are still in the yellow, and it's running pretty fantastically. Man, that 600i is beautiful. So speaking of 600i, one of the new ships, there's the Avenger rework, so the Avenger Titan, the Avenger Stalker, the Avenger Renegade, and the Avenger Warlock. That is a slight graphical glitch, remember PTU. This is the new interior. And I gotta say, it feels so much better. It's so much more roomy. This feels legit. Like, I gotta say, they are on fucking point with their reworks. Like, I'm actually loving the Avenger now. Like, this is like the ship that I'm going to, you know, suggest to people. Like, this is amazing. They've done so good with the Avenger. I can't even get over all of it. They've also added in a bunch of new armors. Altogether, I think
I haven't flown the Avenger yet. I was going to the other night and then it crashed.
Let's see, there's the new, well, Legacy Heavy, the Legacy Medium, the Legacy Light for Outlaw Armor, and then there's the corresponding Legacy Marine Armor, so Light, Medium, Heavy, that's 6. There's also the Port Olisar clothing line, Quantum Travel Improvements, which I have to seriously agree with. I love the way that the new quantum travel is as well. In certain areas, you can just press B to start spooling up your drive. Once you aimed up, as you can see here, it starts to calibrate. Once it's calibrated and it's spooled, hold down B, boom, off you go. The great thing about that is the new quantum system is a lot like the old quantum system from 2.63, where basically, like, you press a button, the markers come up that you can aim at and then go to, and I sincerely love that. That's almost the exact same way that you use orbital marker. Words are hard. That's the same way you use orbital markers. Hey, I said it. Yay. So when you get to like a planet or a moon, an astral body, press B, a bunch of points light up green if you can go there, orange if you're too close. And it brings you something like around like 60 kilometers or so, give or take, maybe a little bit more. I don't remember the exact numbers. That's a lie. Don't take 60 kilometers as a gospel. But I mean, just look at the frames. Look at it. It's going so smooth. Everything looks so good. The ships are amazing. You know, there's mining now. There's quantum linking. I haven't done any of the quantum linking myself. There's also the new power system that's involved, so you can't just go infinitely. You actually kind of have penalties to using too much power, and I kind of dig that, you know? Again, I can't say enough about the performance. Everything just feels so much better now. Like, it really feels like where the game should be. I mean, it could be better, but it's getting there, and that actually makes me really happy. Remotely operated turrets, those are in 3.2 now. There are definitely improvements as well to manned turrets on vehicles. The flight model's a little wonky to me. You drift a little bit more. I don't know, maybe I was just using a little trick previously where I'd press Z to get straight on to fly straight again. But now if you're turning and you press Z to go into free look, the ship continues in the trajectory that you were going, but at the same time, I could get used to that. One of the really cool things is this added mission, where either on the lawful or on the pirate side or criminal side, you can select a mission to where you're sent to go and destroy these satellite beacon things. And they actually showed this on ATV really quickly last week. So for them to have shown it, and then for it to be in this patch, that is really cool. I'm really liking that there's also a huge, well, it feels not huge. Really liking there's more missions, and it's nice. It kind of, switches up, I don't want to say monotony, but the monotony of all the missions that were already in there and just kind of felt lightly recycled with some variables changed. So it's a nice mixture and a nice addition. Using gimbaled weapons is a lot easier now. The ships aren't as jerky, and that also, huge improvement. As I spoke a little bit earlier, the item kiosk shopping, the shopping kiosks there for items. PMA and VMA improvements, there's now text that distinguishes what each of those icons are on the mummy glass. Super helpful. Something else they also put in is the AI behaviors.
We'll see you soon.
Boy howdy, do they feel
Thanks
different.
for coming.
Just going up against enemy ships now, like a Gladius really does fly differently than going up against like a Cutlass. The same as going up against an Andromeda or a Constellation. I actually can see the difference now. They don't all fly in the same similar linear way, and that does kind of add a little bit more to it. Like each ship does now kind of act and respond a little differently, and it's actually really cool. There's also a couple of new FPS weapons. There's the Klassen Vana Demico, the laser LMG, which I just happen to have in my hands right then. That's the pistol. There's also the new Kastek Arms Scalpel Sniper Rifle, the double barrel sniper rifle. That's fucking original. Not being sarcastic, that's actually original. That's really cool. There's the Gemini F-55, which is the ballistic LMG. There's a couple new ship weapons from Associated Science and Development, which is a distortion repeater. And as you can see here, some of the damage effects on the new Avenger, just top notch. And one of the more important and last things to touch on is the performance optimization. Now, unfortunately, FPS combat AI was pushed to 3.3. I'm hoping that maybe they're able to finish that and push it out in a 3.2.x patch, because that is something that I was really, really excited for, and I really, really hope they make a push to get that in, because that could make some of the derelict missions, some of the black box recovery missions, identify crew missions way more fun. It could also make bounty hunting missions way more fun, where you have to go to maybe the drug lab on Yila and apprehend the guy there, but he, obviously will fight back instead, and you gotta kill him. That would be so freaking cool. Alright, well, other than that, I think I'm going to leave the video here. Again, all of you who don't know, even though I've been blabbing about it nonstop for the past almost 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes, whatever the amount of minutes, about 10 minutes. 3.2 is now live. Everybody can hop in and get it. Pro tip. If you do decide to do PTU, download the launcher, kick it off to where where you have to pick the location you want the files to download to. Once it starts to download the files, kill it. Copy the files over from your 3.1.4 live folder. Copy that live folder into the same live folder in the PTU directory. You'll then only have to download like 8 or 9 gigabytes compared to like the 36 or 39 gigabytes. So if you're on a bandwidth cap, or you just are impatient like me and don't want to wait any longer.
Did you hear that, Lurch? Drag your live folder and you won't have to download as much. Did you hear that?
You have to. That might be a good idea for you to take advantage of. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. All you beautiful bastards out there, you have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever, wherever you just so happen to be. Thank you very much for watching. Big shout out to iLab for creating the new intro. That's the intro I'm going to use for right now. The intro contest is still on. I'm having that for approximately the next month. The winner will get something from Star Citizen. I haven't nailed down exactly what I'm willing to give because if I get something that's absolutely mind-blowing, I don't want the person to feel like I'm cheating them. So I want to make sure I give them something cool, but I still don't know what I'm going to give them. So I'm trying to see how this goes and figure it out from there. So thank you very much for watching. This is Will, Daylight Gamer, signing out. Peace. Look at that crazy security guard. You can tell he's a security guard. That is not.
All right, the Daylight Gamer. Here's the link to his video, and you can like him, subscribe him. I must say this is probably the best video he's done so far. I don't know if he's got a new mic or if he's invested in more equipment or whatever, but this video right here was one of his better ones. Got an active Discord community too. You guys can join his Discord. Hey, Minion Soldier, we're gonna do a little piracy video. One from last week.
So to give you a quick overview of how the salvage process
No,
works.
no, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be.
Green check marks. All
Yeah, we got 2 videos from Montoya. I play them in order. Got this one right here.
green check marks all the way down the board on 3.2. It is incoming to go live by Friday or Saturday latest. Wave 1 is done. Wave 2 went out, lasted for all of 2 or 3 hours, and then PTU opened.
Hi, crew. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for coming. Sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. I'm looking for people that want to play Star Citizen after this. If you could join me, it'd be much appreciated. I need to make some footage for Laminal if I can find people. So if you can get into the PTU, let me know, and we'll get you in Discord, and we'll fly around tonight.
To everyone. So if you want to get into PTU right now and test out that mining ship, get in there. You have 1 week to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Montoya. We are looking at the roadmap. The PTU 3.2 is currently out for the next week. It will go live by the end of the week. You do have access to the Prospector, the mining ship, right now in the PTU. So even if you don't own it in the game, in the PTU, you do get access. Go trout mining. Everyone I've spoken to so far about mining, I wasn't sure what the reactions would be. I speak to a lot of people who did mining in EVE and Elite Dangerous. In EVE, it's basically point and click, sit down, go have a drink, go watch a movie, come back, hope you didn't get ganked. In Elite Dangerous, point at a rock and you mine. In Star Citizen, it's more of a complicated process. You have to find the rock, you have to point at the rock, you have to set the laser power level, the mining laser, to the right level, otherwise the rock will explode. It's complicated, and I was concerned that people will be turned off by this, but actually they love it. The feedback I'm getting is everyone loves the mining, so well done, CIG. I think as the first iteration on a new game mechanic, it's been pretty well received, so congrats on that. So let's take a look what's happening. 3.2 is coming out by the end of the week. It will go live. If you don't want to bother with a PTU, don't touch it. By the end of the week, it will go live, and your patcher will update you to all the goodness that is 3.2, which means 3.3 is what we're looking at next. Now, obviously, nothing has been worked on much except the Aegis Hammerhead for some reason, and the asynchronous background spawning, which is obviously beneficial to all the patches. But since all hands are on deck right now to get 3.2 out, you don't expect much happening with 3.3. But what is 3.3 bringing to us? Let's take a look. Hurston Planet and the Lorville Landing Zone. Finally, a new place to go and visit because
Is Hurston the city on Crusader that Chris Roberts was flying around? That Hurston?
I don't know about you, but I'm getting really bored between Daymar and Port Olisar. So it's good to have something new, a new landing zone coming in. As far as what ships are coming in, the Tumbril Cyclone, I don't know why everyone's excited about that. Personally, I'm not too excited, but a lot of people I speak to are, I guess, to race around the planets with maybe. The Aegis Hammerhead, moving on very fast, and the Mustang rework. Other than that, a couple of weapon systems and the core tech. Now, here's the thing. I had this conversation with a couple of people in chat just earlier. If you have friends who are asking you, when is a good time to come and dive into Star Citizen? People are shocked when I say, don't bother, because right now there's really not much to do. Very few game loops and not repetitive. There's not much happening. Worst of all is the performance. Now, I run a 970, and I don't get the best performance as it is, but just testing out the PTU, did this happen to you? I jumped into a fresh server. I was getting 60 frames locked, and it was solid. This is like a completely different game when it's smooth. So performance optimizations are so critical to getting people in there and enjoying what they're doing. That is only going to happen in 3.3. So if your friends are asking you when's a good time to come in, September, or maybe the end of the year, because right now we are not close to it, and in September with 3.3 we will have the background.
That's wrong. That depends on what you want to do. If you want to go in there and check out your ships and stuff like that, now's a good time, because there's a lot of ships that just got released. It depends on what you want to do.
Spawning, the asynchronous background spawning, the network blind culling, all the good stuff to make this run smoother in September with 3.3. Right now, it is kind of rough, and even though 3.2 brings with it the mining mechanics and really cool things to do and beautiful new ships, it is rough still. So if your friends are asking you when's a good time, 3.3 September, or if they want to wait even longer because 3.4 will bring it ArcCorp. ArcCorp is the city planet, and
Got a couple more videos to go through, and then I'm gonna fill up my coffee, and then I'm gonna get into the gameplay. So I don't know about how long you think when you're good with the kids. An hour, half hour. Let me know, crew. I'll hook it up.
And let me just check down here on the core tech. Procedural city rendering performance, obviously tied in very closely to releasing ArcCorp. ArcCorp will come in. Will be very exciting to see. So 3.4 if you are patient for that. Other than that, guys, let me know. What are your thoughts so far on 3.2? Are you enjoying mining? Post below. Let me know. Don't forget, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.
Alright, that was the first video from Montoya. Now we got one more from Montoya.
Asked.
Hey, Bear Owl. Nice to see you back. Hi. Hour and a half, yeah. That sounds good. So, downward thrust says Star Citizen backwards are being manipulated. Huh, I wonder how I'm being manipulated. I can't wait to hear this one.
It is my sad duty to come before you today, my fellow 800,000 Star Citizen backers, and tell you all that you and I are victims. We are all victims of manipulation. You know it's going to be a good video when I started by standing up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Montoya. Welcome to my channel. A curious thing has been happening in recent weeks actually on my channel, and it is A few individuals, when I say few, 7, 8, 9 of them, have been saying something interesting, and they say they are sorry to see about the attachment. Yeah. And they are sorry to see how everyone has been manipulated. So I found it curious when this was being repeated over and over, and I asked one of the commenters, and I said, where's this coming from? Where did you hear that there's a attachment problem? And he led me to a video by a guy named Tonlo, who runs a channel called Downward Thrust, and I've watched some of his videos before. It's pulled up right here. It's a kind of interesting niche. It's alarmist, not really doom and gloom, but mostly alarmist type videos. For example, pick that game you really like, and he's going to tell you why it's going to fail. Try it. PUBG? Why is PUBG going to fail? I'm sure it's one of the videos. Scroll down, you'll find it. Do you like chicken nuggets? Do chicken nuggets give you cancer? That's probably a video there too. Obviously, it's a very popular theme. Look at that, 300,000 subs. It's done very, very well, surprisingly. But, all right. Naturally, Star Citizen is going to find its way to this channel. So I want to take a look at what he had to say, and then we're going to break it down piece by piece. Let's go.
Star Citizen is a dream that many people are waiting to come true. A gigantic vision that we want to become reality. But that is an idea that might be blinded by something called attachment.
This is going to be an underlying theme of his entire video, the whole concept of devious and malicious attachment, because you, a Star Citizen backer, spent a little bit of money, you are now attached, you're stuck in there, and you can never leave. You have no choice but to support the project going forward. This is what actually drew me to this topic in the first place, because I had an individual post to me and say, I feel bad that you are stuck in this project. And I found that to be very strange. I said, why would I be stuck? And he said, well, because you put money into it. To give you guys an understanding of where I'm coming from in my background, I have a finance economics background. My first job out of university was for a blue chip financial firm. I was a stockbroker. And you guys who are stockbrokers will know this saying very well. Don't fall in love with a stock. It can never love you back. That's right. A lot of the stock market adages seem to apply also towards a project like Star Citizen. While it is by no means an investment, anyone who says they're investing in Star Citizen needs to kind of check themselves there, because you can't invest in Star Citizen unless you're actually getting some sort of financial reward back out of it. You are a backer, you throw in a pledge. The money I threw into Star Citizen, if it all vanishes tomorrow, life goes on. And almost every single person I speak to, I have an organization of 17,000 people. Almost every single one, I would say close to 98% of the people.
17,000 auroras. Them all colliding into something could cause a lot of damage. Like, that could probably move a planet.
People I speak to stand with me on that this is a pledge. And obviously we'll hope it's going to happen. But by no means is anybody I know attached in the sense that what he's going to explain here, which just makes no sense at all.
This game is a ghost in the gaming world. It is a phantom. It is a dream.
Okay, this game is a ghost in the gaming world. It is a phantom. It is a dream. Yeah, good job looking in the rear view mirror and not seeing where you are at the moment and what's in front of you. 3.1 was a ghostly phantom release, which we've been playing all year. 3.2 coming out right now. There's phantom rock mining in it, which didn't exist before because it was ghostly, I guess. 3.3 coming out next quarter. Hurston, the entire planet coming out, the new landing zone, most likely a phantom planet maybe. ArcCorp coming out 3.4. Now I know what you're saying, but where is the finished game? Yeah, look, granted, there is no completed game at the moment. This is a big issue. There isn't a single person, there's not one single backer of Star Citizen that likes the fact that there's no finished game right now. But what is happening right now is the level of development, the speed of development that has never existed before. The rate at which the game is progressing, the game development is progressing with 475 employees is something that did not even exist 6 months ago. So to say that this was a phantom and this was a dream, you know what? I'm going to be generous in 2015. I'm going to be more generous. If you said this was a phantom and a dream in 2016, I'd have to say, yeah, you know what? That's pretty accurate. But to say that right now, with 3.2 coming down the pipe and 3.3 being worked on, to say right now in 2018 that Star Citizen is nothing but a, what was it, a phantom, it is a dream, you know what? That's simply claiming extreme ignorance.
But what I do know is that Star Citizen loyalists are very, very opinionated, and they do not
So I'm a loyalist now. Star Citizen loyalist.
like any incrimination whatsoever in terms of you talking about their game in a bad way whatsoever.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. All right. Interesting choice of words there. First of all, I think you need to differentiate between criticizing a game and criticizing its player base, because what the common theme in this video is of his, that is criticizing the player base of being manipulated, of being unable to make adult decisions because they're being tricked by the devious CIG game developers who are tricking them into giving them money, because surely they can't be giving money on their own accord. They must be manipulated because they must be stupid. That's what he's saying. But to break down your sentence there, that you find Star Citizen loyalists very, very opinionated. Look, I'm a king of sarcasm, you know. I recognize condescending tones when I see them. When my 3-year-old has to go pee and I go, hey, go pee-pee, and he goes, no. I say to my wife, oh, he's very, very opinionated. That's what I say. So when you say that backers are very, very opinionated, it's because their opinions are simply not falling in line with your own. And by your own words, your opinions are based off things you don't know about because you're not up to date on all the facts. Going on, the interesting choice of words there, that they do not like incrimination whatsoever. Interesting. Incrimination, from the word incriminate, verb. Make someone appear guilty of a crime or wrongdoing, simply imply the guilt of someone. As we go on with this video, you'll find this guy simply implying that 800,000 backers of Star Citizen are stupid. And on the same breath, wonder why they don't like criticism.
But really, it's been so long, there's been so many problems, that I really don't know what to believe anymore.
Okay, he's right. Listen, not everyone follows this project very closely. And as I said before, they are very, very transparent. The amount of videos they put out, there's around the verse, reverse the verses, the bugs, man. I don't even keep track of all the things they put out each and every week, keeping everyone up to date on what's happening with the development. I'll be honest, I don't even watch everything they put out because there's just so much of it. I go watch some guy like Board Gamer and see what he has to say. And then I go watch Noobifier for his summary of what Board Gamer said, because that's the only way to keep up with all the information that's coming out on this project all the time. So when Tone Loke over here is saying that it's been very long, there's been so many problems, I don't know what to believe anymore, I can understand that. Okay, he's right. There's been a lot of problems. There have been missed deadlines, there have been lawsuits, there have been delays. We've been plagued with them. There is so much information out there that it is very difficult keeping up with it. But you know what? If you don't know what is going on, ask someone. Ask someone who knows. It's as simple as that.
Is this new $27,000 pledge option for Star Citizen, was it really just designed to get people more attached to the game so that they will continue to buy these packs?
I like Matoya's drama. I love it. I love it.
The pain. The
For some reason, I find him funny. I really do.
Is this new 27,000 pledge option for Star 7 what really designed to get people more the pain is coming back. Oh, God. Okay. Why? Oh, all right. Look, I'll admit, as a Star Citizen backer, when they announced this Legatus pack for 27,000, meh, you know what? There was a $10,000 pack. There was a $15,000 pack. There's a $27,000 pack. If there's a $50,000 pack next month, it doesn't matter to us backers because it doesn't affect 99.999% of us. No one, except for a couple of guys I know, care about the Legatus pack. But I do understand the optics of it are bad. And I made a video about this. And in my video I said, you know what, CIG still kind of act like they're a small indie game dev, but they're not. They're a massive 475 employee international company with offices in LA, Austin, Frankfurt, Manchester. They're a big company, but they do still lack in some departments, and public relations is one of those departments. CIG does actually need to reach out to publicists. They need publications. They need bloggers. They need YouTubers. They need to reach out to them and get them on board to understand what is happening. Because simply, same thing is happening here with Downward Thrust. I mean, he has all but the best intentions, but he just doesn't, and he'll say this over and over, he doesn't know what's going on. What CIG needs to do is reach out to people like this and say, hey, if you drop by our LA offices or our Austin offices, or if you're in Europe, go to the Frankfurt or Manchester office, come take a tour, show them what's going on. Because if they did, people's opinions would change. And the optics of a lot of what they do is bad. And I agree. If I knew nothing about Star Citizen and saw there was a $27,000 pack being released, I'll be, what is this? That's nuts. So I agree the optics look bad. But what he's saying here makes no sense, that this pledge option was designed to get people more attached? What? Clifford, I know you own this Legatus $27,000 package. Clifford, if you're watching this, post below. Are you more attached to Star Citizen now that you bought this pack? Wolf, you're watching this. Wolf, you own this pack. How attached are you? Are you more attached? Exist. I know Exist is watching this video. How attached are you to Star Citizen? More so now that you own the $27,000 pack. Seth, do you own it? Are you more attached? I'll tell you something about all these guys that own this pack. They already had $27,000 in the game. Getting the pack does not make them more attached. And it does not want to make them continue to buy the packs. If anything, they don't want to buy more packs because they got this one. It's everything. If you walk into McDonald's and you buy every single item on the menu, does that mean you want to go back and buy more items on the menu? No. Number one, you're a fat bastard. Number two, you're going to die of cholesterol. But number three, you have everything already. You don't need to go back and buy more things. So if you own the Legatus pack, that's what's ridiculous argument he made there, you don't have to buy more packs. You have everything.
To be honest, guys, I really don't know what to think of anymore with Star Citizen. There has been just too many problems, I think, with the development team and the community that right now I don't think anyone can think clearly.
No, you don't see clearly. There are plenty of people that see very clearly. Just because you don't see clearly doesn't mean you have to project this on everyone else and assume nobody knows what's going on. There are plenty of people that know what's going on. And you know, for you to say that you don't know what to think about, there are too many problems, yes, there have been lawsuits, yes, there have been delays. Everyone can look in the rearview mirror, but look at the here and now. I just made a previous video about the roadmap showing exactly where we are right now. And as I've mentioned, the speed of production has never been as high as it's been right now. Check the roadmap. It's going to be ticking up all the time. And every quarter, what they promised is coming out on time so far. So to say that you don't know what's going on and there's too many problems is looking at the past and just being ignorant.
Is it all a scam or is it justified? I don't know.
You don't know? Well, I know. No, It is not a scam. And yes, it is justified.
I think the development team
Justified.
they must have good intentions. But deep down, they're playing a very, very cat and mousey style game with this system, with this game of attachment and loyalty. To be honest, I think it's not healthy for the common player base because they really don't know what's going on. They don't know that the game is being designed in such a way that is built from the ground to get people so attached to the game that they will never turn away.
What he's blabbering about here is he thinks everyone that backs Star Citizen has been manipulated. Now, I like the altruism of this. He thinks, oh, these poor people, there's 800,000 people who've been tricked, who've been manipulated by this game dev who's very skillfully managed to create this amazing Pavlovian response where all they do is show you a shiny new ship and everyone just throws their money at it because they just cannot control themselves. I'll be honest, I do know some people that have fallen into the trap. But majority of the people I talk to, I'm saying 95% plus, do not fall into that and are not exhibiting this Pavlovian response that you keep on pushing in your video as if it is a fact. That is simply not true.
I do not like the practice of promises and dreams. I like the practice of reality, which is a day one quality video game. And I most certainly do not like the idea of building a game based off of this manipulation and attachment.
Again, he's simply implying that everything that's happening here is thanks to manipulation and forcing people to be attached. He alone is woke. All of us are blind. Right? Listen, Star Citizen is a massively ambitious project. It is the most transparent and open example of game development in history. It is bound to attract a lot of detractors. You say that you want a quality, what do you say, a day one quality video game? Absolutely. We all want that. But no one is forcing anyone to be attached to Star Citizen. Nobody's forcing anyone to remain in there. Anyone can get up. Hey, you want to go to the gray market, sell your ships and get out? You can. Anyone can do that at any time they want. Cyberpunk 2077 is a great example of what you, as you said, will be a day one quality video game. Announced in 2012. Not a peep about it until the day it is actually going to come out. It's going to be amazing. Can you imagine if Cyberpunk had open development? Can you imagine the freak out, the raging from the gaming community looking at every single step of the development of Cyberpunk? If you've been following it, there is a massive, massive outcry and an actual petition because Cyberpunk is going to be first person and people are simply losing their minds that CD Projekt Red is making it first person. They're losing their minds. Can you imagine if the gaming community got to see every single step of the process of making Cyberpunk? It would have been a disaster. It would have been an utter disaster. So when you look at the problems, the perceived problems, and the actual problems plaguing Star Citizen, it's all part of the natural gaming development process, except we're seeing how the sausage is getting made, and a lot of the time, it is not pretty. Well, let's close this up. Overall, Downward Thrust, your argument is weak, but your arrogance is great, and I love it, and for that, I love you. Guys, drop by Downward Thrust channel, give him a subscribe. He does a great job, actually, and congrats on a wonderful YouTube channel. Lots of love and kisses from the Star Citizen community. If any of you guys have any serious questions or actual real proper critique about Star Citizen, feel free to post your questions below. There'll be more than enough people happy to answer them. If you enjoyed this content, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget comments below. As always, bonus likes and super likes to any comment with the terms fanboy, scam, cult, and brainwashed. And if you can put all the words into one comment, super like to you. Subscribe, like, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, that was Matoya.
Welcome, everyone.
It is,
Put a link to that video here. If not. All right, here we go. All right, we got Tactical Advance. He's going to show off the new Eclipse. And while he's showing off the new Eclipse, I'm going to fill up my coffee really quick. Eclipse is like retaliator type firepower in a fighter. It's basically a fighter bomber, but the size of the torpedoes are the same as the Reclaimer, making it able to take the shields down on great big capital ships like the Icarus and the Polaris, and then a bigger ship can follow through. It's a stealth bomber. It's stealth too. It's even more stealthier than the Saber. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my coffee while you watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tattoo Avance here, and welcome to a ship review. Now today we are taking a look around the Aegis Eclipse. Now from what you've just seen in that short intro, and you might have guessed it, it is a bomber. It comes with 3 large bombs, it's got bomb bay doors as well. Also got some size 2s, it's got Gatlings on at the moment. You can clearly swap them out. I'll probably just leave the Gatlings on there, to be honest. The projectile weapons in SC are pretty good at the moment, so I'll probably just keep them. Now the purpose of this ship is a stealth bomber. You can use it in multitude of ways. You could solo it, you could use it for big fleet battles. Lots of things you can use it for. IR output is going to be good, purely on the basis of the way that it's designed. It's got the engine covers at the back. And there's a lot of systems you can physically turn off inside to reduce down your IR as well. Does have a little bit of a twitch. Could be my uneven landing, possibly. Let's take a look around, see what we've got. It's got some cool animations, this. We'll take off in a minute. I'll show you the animations. And there's something funny we might do at the end as well. I have got one gripe, and it's that canopy, but we'll talk about that when we get inside. You've got this sort of nose section here. Landing legs down here look pretty cool. Now the landing leg bay door here isn't like 4 pieces. It's a proper jigsaw. When we take off, I'll show you that. It's crazy animation on that door. Huge wings. I mean, if you look from the center here, right, and look how long the wings are, look. Well, that's without the extension. And with the extension, we're probably coming out over here. But here, I don't know, did the wings need to really be that big? Does the wing, I mean, even if you look at it from the front here, that's a big wing without the extension. Maybe it improves it in atmospheric flight or something. I know why the fold-out wings are there, because it goes in one of the bigger ships, the Idris. Can go. And also it makes it so it can go on other ships later on as well. My point is why not end the wing there anyway, and just do a little bit of a redesign. Not the end of the world. It is quite stereotypical for these long-range bombers to have these big wings, isn't it? In space? I don't know. Let's have a look round anyway. Huge vent there. I'm guessing because it just say vent warning. And the vent warning there. The guns do look small, don't they, compared to the size of the ship. Not really an attacking ship. The guns are there just to defend itself, really, and that's it.
Did the video finish or did it restart as soon as I sat down?
Would I buy one? I'm not really interested in doing.
No, it must have restarted.
It's
or
not
something.
something I would do. And we're going to open the. Move back.
Where was it, guys?
The bigger bombs or missiles
Getting my
later on down
coffee.
the line, i.e., to the physical damage output and so on. And there'll be different types, as a little bit of a redesign. Not the end of the world. It is quite
Let's put it there.
stereotypical for these long-range bombers to have these big wings, isn't it? In space? I don't know. Let's have a look at it anyway. Huge vent there. I'm guessing because it just say vent warning. And the vent warning there. The guns do look small, don't they, compared to the size of the ship? Not really an attacking ship. The guns are there just to defend itself, really, and that's it.
This is back far enough? Yes. Not, tell me and I'll go back farther.
Not much going on under there. Got a good bit of light on this side at the moment as well. Now the wing acts as the landing leg. So it's like multi-purpose. One way by making one animation and it's landing and wing extension basically. I do like the colours. I like this matted sort of grey, particularly in space. You don't really want something pink, do you? Or white. Got these little cutouts as well. Inside the ship a little bit, but you can see the cutouts there in the top there. Should get in a minute, look. There we go, look. Over here as well, you can see the engine, what was going on about. It's right at the top. Top there where them lights are. Now when we look down in a minute, you will see there's shields around there as well. A lot of the sort of stealthy ships have shields around the engine to mask the IR, the energy output. It's not masking it totally, it's helping. You're huge. Absolutely massive. These are size 9s, aren't they? Same as you get in the other bomber as well. You only get 3. Only. Pretty much probably destroy or damage most ships with 3 of these.
Now you're not going to shoot those at a Hornet or a Saber or anything like that because these things are going to be slow moving, great big huge things. These are for capital ships.
I'm sure there'll be lots of adjustments to the bigger bombs or missiles later on down the line, i.e. to the physical damage output and so on. And there'll be different types as well, depending on what you're trying to do. So one might be really good at taking out full shields, allowing other ships to attack the ship, and so on. Most of the ships we've got at the moment, though, it's not going to be hard to destroy them because there's no real big ships in the game yet. Huge ones. It's one of the guns. The rework ones, they do look absolutely freaking awesome. It comes this like little bag that where the ammunition goes as well. Lots of detail on that. Four ports. Or 4 guns, if you want to call it that. I think there was a lot more on the last one, maybe 10 or 8 or something, wasn't there? All these fold away as well, and the bay doors close as well. With most of the ships now, you can actually put away the turrets. So as well as the man turrets working, you can actually put them away. In the same way with this as well. We'll show you that when we get inside. And then once again, we're back around this side. I do like it. I think it's a really nice design. It's a good size as well for a solo player. We'll take a look inside. What I did notice, this is really weird. Look, there's a dent there. Just there. You can see it. Bit random, but there's a dent there. So if we open the canopy first, check this out. That is pretty cool, isn't it? My gripe that's going to be coming up is that front screen. I have no idea what they've done to that. I'm guessing it's a bug because it's not something I would do. And we're going to open the... Move back a bit.
When I flew it, I only saw that there was like 2 guns that I could fire. That doesn't mean that it wasn't more hard points. But yeah, it looked like it had 2 some type of repeaters on it, or maybe it was a Gatling gun if it was a ballistic.
Open the ladder. You can see that as well. That actually moved the ship. It's fine. Pretty cool, eh? Can't really see much here. Jump in now. I think the power's on. There we go, we all folded up. And what I'm going to do, use this engine power off. Now normally when you get in, it's like this. Blue. Makes sense really, doesn't it? Blue, red. I don't know how green works with your eyes, to be honest, but maybe someone can say in the comments section. Maybe that helps your eyes at night as well. Buttons up here as well. You have to be quite ambidextrous to reach them buttons, don't you? Quite old-fashioned, isn't it? Like having all these flicky switches. I always think that anyway, with like, you know, like the modern aircrafts with all the flicky switches. You would have thought they've just had an iPad in the middle. I know there's EMP, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they have all the manual switches to avoid EMP and stuff like that, maybe. I don't know. Can't really see much else. You can have a look around here. The exit button's actually on the handle here. I thought that was pretty cool. Look. Makes sense, doesn't it? You also get this, look. Eject as well. Power on.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green.
One thing that does jump out at me when you get in here, the displays are amazingly sharp. Everything here looks so crisp. I don't know how they've got these lines and everything looking so nice. Very, very well put together. And the thing I don't like, you actually can't see at the moment, it's all this, see this here around the screen. Now, it might not look bad at the moment, but in a second you'll see what I mean. It's just I have no idea why they put that there. Was it heat cracks? I have no idea. Well, what we're going to do, first of all, let's have a quick look on the outside. We can have a quick look on the top, can't we? And we can have a look down now and show you what I mean.
Mine better not be cracked.
About them little the holes. Gives you real good perspective now. If you look at the cockpit where I'm sitting and look how small I am compared to the ship is massive. It's not small, is it? It makes me look like a little ant. I can actually fire the weapons on the ground as well, can I? Yep, don't know how safe that is, but hey. Jump back inside. Let's just take off, and I'll show you all the other animations as well. And these are pretty cool.
Launch complete.
What a beautiful view as well. Okay, let's go on the outside. Let's move to a better angle. What we could do to improve this I think we go up just a little bit more. And tilt up a little bit, that'll do. And let's have a look now under, so we can see underneath. There we go, it's a bit more light there now. Okay, so when you come out of your landing mode, you see that little door? Activate it again. Might move further under so you can see all the animation there. Pretty cool, isn't it? We can do the same thing as well from the top section as well. You can actually see it from here. Probably one of the cooler ships, I think, from animations. I think definitely. I wouldn't disagree with that. And the next thing you've got as well, which you can do from internally as well, is you've got your, obviously your weapons. You can power down your main weapons.
Weapon system.
The bomb bays close. In fact, we could probably do that. Change the angle a little bit, can we? And also the guns go away. It's going to be dark now, isn't it? Pop back inside again.
Weapon systems online.
Could toggle this to a button, but for the sake of doing it now, it's fine.
Weapon system.
Pretty cool, eh?
Complete.
So, overall, pretty impressed with this one. It's really well polished. There's a few little bugs inside at the moment, but I'm hoping they fix them ones. One thing we could actually try, I wonder if actually, shall we try that and give that a go? That'd be good fun, wouldn't it? Maybe what we do is we try and give the old ejector seat a go. There's a bit of a bug here sometimes when you get out. Oh, that actually worked that time.
Ejector seat.
Let's try an ejector seat out,
Let's
eh?
do it.
Bit random, guys, but
let it rip.
Nice way to end the video, wouldn't it? Flying out of ejector seat. Not all ships have ejector seats. Some of them do.
Suspense is killing me. Ejector
seat. I'm going to an F4 view. We can give it a go.
Here we go.
Maybe we should go off the ground a little bit as well. Here we go. Whoa, you see that? You see me fly at the top? Uh-oh.
That's kind of cool.
Did I not get a parachute there?
No, there's no parachute.
Uh-oh. See you later. Confirmed. Ejector seat does not have a parachute. All in all, I actually really like the ship. I think it's well designed, well put together.
Nice.
Would I buy one? I'm not really interested in doing bombing runs, really, to be fair. But if I did have to pick a bomber, I'll probably go for that one rather than the bigger one. Because you could just use that on your own, just doing simple missions on your own. And you get the same size bombs as well. Okay, you don't get as many, but it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Well, if Retaliator takes 5 people for the turrets, 1 person to fly it, 1 person to coordinate everything, so that'd be like 7 or 8 people. You could put 7 or 8 of these in the sky with the same amount of manpower and be way more efficient, because if just a couple of fighters came to the bomber, these here could scatter in all different directions and still some would make it to their target. Or 8 of them could pack up against the 2 fighters and probably fare pretty well. Some coordination. And plus these are completely totally stealth. Like, that's like stealth maximum.
That's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video today.
So let's link this video. Tactical advance. Yep, with the modules, you're absolutely right. So, I wanted to watch his 600i video, just so I know what's in my ship.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tattoo Avance, and welcome to a ship review. Now, I know a lot of people out there have been really...
This is the ship that I want to fly tonight. I got a request from a friend of mine, the Laminal. He wants me to grab some footage of me flying the ship with an escort, and he wants like camera angles of the escort ship through the back window of the 600i. So if any of you guys got the PTU downloaded, and wish to help me get some footage. It's going to take about an hour, but I kind of need like a minimum of two people to stand up and say they want to come into the PTU with me. Get it done.
Looking forward to seeing this ship, and I must say, pretty impressive. One of the unfortunate things at the moment, we can't actually spawn this in hangar at the moment, so do it on a planet, eh? I might actually start doing all my reviews on the planets. Bit more ambient sound, bit more brighter as well. I think the shadows are better as well, but we'll take a look. There's not a massive amount we can look on the outside because it's so big and we won't be able to see it, but we'll take a quick look round anyway. Now, if we have a look from the front first of all, you can see that there's... Can't really see much, unless not even if I jump really. But there's... Call it 2 decks. There's a captain's quarters on the bottom, and then the pilot seat and the co-pilot seat at the top. It's got 3 guns on the top. It's got 1 on the rear and 1 on the other side as well. Small guns, nothing too massive really. All forward facing. It's got unmanned turrets which you can control. Show you that as well. You can actually do that right now. It's pretty cool. So this is the first draft of these sort of unmanned turrets. Cargo bay door. Might be a problem opening that with that rock there. We'll see how we get on. Another entrance point here as well. Really like this. We'll open this now while we're here. What I like about this is the first small door to have gravity on the door, if that makes any sense. So when you're actually in space, you can just walk towards this and got gravity. It makes it easier than, you know, you're moving sideways and moving left, trying to click on the blooming button.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. If you guys watched my reclaimer video with the elevator, and the elevator actually came detached from the ship, and I was like flying around in the reclaimer elevator, like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory glass elevator is what it reminded me of. It's on my YouTube channel. It's pretty humorous.
I would actually like them to do that on the bigger door as well, but they haven't done it on this one. Let's carry on looking around. We'll go up there in a minute. These little turrets here. A few people have commented, and I wouldn't disagree. That arm does look pretty flimsy, doesn't it? Shoot that with a handgun, it looked like it snap off. Pretty cool, they all pop out as well. 1 big leg on the rear. 2 on the back there. It's not a bit of sandstorms. I think it's going to get dark in a minute, so probably want to get this done as quick as I can to some extent. The rear engine's got to have to move about half a mile out to see these. Here we go. Does look nice. Can you see? I don't know if you can see these. There's like an extra skin, so it's like double walled. You've got the centre section, and then you've got this double wall. They've done a really good job of following through with the concept and the artwork on this throughout the ship, and you see what I mean. This sort of double wall you're seeing has been applied to the furniture, the walls, everything. And the shapes as well, to keep the continuity throughout the ship, which is really, I like that. It's well done and well put together. Very consistent, I would say, in the design. There's not really much we can see unless we can get on top. We'll jump inside and start to look inside anyway. As it's getting a little bit dark as well. We'll do the top deck first.
Top deck. All the way up.
Here we are.
Pretty flat. I remember that
Captain
part.
seat, or pilot seat, co-pilots. You can manage the turrets from here as well. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do that now with the power off, but we'll give it a go. We should better power on. And over here. This acts a great point defense. If you land on a planet... It's obviously a little bit of a bug there. I assume that thing's supposed to be moving with me now. It's not the end of the world. It's a quick bug fix, isn't it? This would be great, because you could land on a planet if someone tries to attack you. You can actually fire in this view as well. And then just a case of Fair enough. There are a few little bugs with the seats at the moment, so 2 turrets, 1 at the back as well. Same sort of setup. There is a station inside the ship just bespoke for scanning, but you can manage the turrets from here as well, which is really good because you'll be with the pilot. He's got his forward guns, he's got 3 guns, he's got 1 left, 1 right, and 1 on the top that he can fire. Once again, what I was talking about the design, I'll show what I mean by the double skin. I'll show you that here, look, on the seats. Look. It's going to be very similar to the outer hull shape, the way that they've factored in all these sort of double skin effect. It's very consistent. The only...
You like this ship, crew? Is this your kind of ship?
Critique I would have about this part of the ship is there is some shadows and lighting issues in it, definitely. I know these lights are on, but there just don't seem to be any shadows. And it just makes it look a bit flat, I suppose. And you see what I mean. When we walk through the rest of the ship, you see a transformation when we go through this door and through the other doors. So this is into the hallway. And as you can see from here, totally different from the lighting in there. In fact, you would expect that to have sort of red lighting or blue, wouldn't you, to dim as well, depending if you were flying or... But out here, the lighting's fantastic. I think they've done an absolutely amazing job. You can see how the lighting just transforms an area and makes it something else. The level of lighting in here is mind-blowing, really. Different shades, all the reflections. It just gives you real good depth of field. Looks amazing.
Do you like your warships, huh, crew? Got the A2 bomber. Like that one?
So, escape pods flying out here sort of makes sense, really. Seems to be positioned
The
quite well. You
Hercules
fly out the
A2?
back here, you know, you're going to blow up, you run down here and you fly out. Quick and easy. Lift, we know where that goes. There is obviously other decks as well we can go to. And then in here. Now, this is not active yet. This is not online, even when you're flying at the moment, but this will be, I assume, related to the scanning stations up the front there. We'll have a look at them in a second. There's no interactable doors here as yet. I've tried them all out. So you can pop around here. And then you've got these are the scanning stations for the exploration aspect of it. You can sit in these as well, but you don't see anything at the moment. Hopefully what they scan is reflected on this screen, so when they're scanning they can talk to the captain. The captain can come back here and see it on the planet on what they're scanning and what they found. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
That small ship, I think, for non-combat is probably going to be like the Phoenix, unless you want smaller than the Freelancer Dur. The Explorer Freelancer should be pretty cool. That like true RV experience.
Glass floors as well, so you can see through to the decks. That's actually the cargo bay, or where the little rover goes. You can see there. That's the bit that goes down. We'll try and get that to go down. There is a rock there, but see how we get on, eh? Another lift here. A few little rooms around the place as well. We've got this little room here. There is doors here, but they don't open yet. I'm assuming a lot of these will open later on down the line. They don't really do much at the moment. Then we've got this room. Got Benji down there, one of the org members down there.
You see the upskirt window in the 600i? Is that why you don't like the 600i? Because it's not girl-friendly? It'd be pretty mean to trick a girl into going up there and bartending with a glass floor and everybody downstairs.
Massive amount of drinks. They've gone way... Well, I did notice there's no glasses, so it looks like you just get a bottle of, like, vodka for yourself. Glass floor there, that's pretty cool, isn't it? There's some cards there with some weird card. Weird stuff in there as well. Little lounge area here. I mean, the lighting looks absolutely amazing, doesn't it? It's going to be really good for when you're doing exploration and you've got people...
It's when did glass floors become a thing? I mean, really. Am I old? Am I missing something? Is there some place that's got glass floors somewhere?
With you, because at least they're able to see out and it won't be just all dark. You can see one of the unmanned turrets out the window there, look. Once again, the stick thing looks a bit, I would agree, it looks a bit weak. As long as that just can't be shot off, like in one bullet, or you can sit in the seats here. We're going to pop back up here because there's another room over here we've missed, I think, is there? Just double check. So we went that way, we've done that way, that's fine. So we'll run downstairs here. Okay, so this is the lower lounge, should we call it? Over the front here you've got pool table. Be really cool if you could use a pool table. You could use it for disputes on the ship, i.e. if someone wants to fly the ship, whoever wins a game of pool gets to fly the ship. I'm sure it'll be hard for them to put it in so you can actually play a game. Bit of foliages, some ferns. They look quite realistic. I mean, keep in mind, a lot of this sort of stuff we're going to see on the planet, so it gives you a bit of an idea of the level of detail we're going to see on the planets, you know.
Welcome back, Emerald Prince.
When they've got foliage. Seating area around here as well. All the Origin logo on the glass. You can hardly see the glass. You know, you see what I mean? You can hardly see it, can you? You don't need to have dots on it. You know when you go on holiday, everyone's walked into the chalet door, haven't you? You know what I mean? I can see, after a few beers down here, I can see a few people walking into that one. It needs a few yellow dots on it. TV screen, little seating area. And we've got the, called it the canteen area. Seating area over here. Lots of food, plants, car battery there. Looks like it, doesn't it? And some other stuff down there. Obviously not car batteries, obviously some sort of food supply, but it looks like it, isn't it? All we need is a couple of battery terminals. Drinks, bits and bobs here. Can't interact with any of these. Got the fridge here as well. There's actually, you know, the ice maker things there. It's got a repair sign on there, so maybe I had to repair it. What I did notice when I was standing here, if I just stand over here and just look at this, look at how well the environment is put together.
The detail's just crazy.
Unless you want to end up.
But I think we're going to skip some of this.
Impressive.
This is long video.
Now, no, you do get 3 pillows, so I'm guessing that you're going to have 2 women with you here. Yeah, not just one. You're going to have 2. Nice seating area.
Detail's incredible.
Pretty cool. Nice bit of foliage here. I actually thought, is this actually generating oxygen or something? Because it can.
Like crap's growing out of the wall. Wow. I don't know if I like that.
If you suffer from hay fever, this is not going to work for you. The second reason is, look, you get plants right next to your head. You can see earth. No, I can't think of anything worse getting in your bed and there's earth in your bed. Now, there is another door here. I mean, I didn't even notice this the first time until I ran round. The only reason I noticed the door was there because it went this funny colour, look. If someone didn't know the ship, you could definitely hide someone in here, couldn't you? So you got a clothes hanger. Loads of stuff here, isn't there? Brush, couple of toothbrushes, dental floss. Prescription over there. Can't really do much here yet, but there is this here as well. A door inside the door. Do the same stuff for the toilet. Shower controls. It's a weird shower. Shower with a light. Close that up. One thing I was slightly surprised with, I would have expected to have more displays here. I think if they could have put 2 big displays here, big screens, with more information about, you know, your current situation, where you're jumping to. I've got no doubt that you can click on this panel and get that information, or maybe, you know, press F1 and go into the Moby-Glass and do it. But for the captain normally would have all of them sort of tools, i.e. in submarines and ships and stuff like that. Maybe we get it all from there. Maybe there's a hologram that pops up or something that we haven't seen yet. So all in all, Captain's flying in style here, undoubtedly. Very nice. Move back here. Lift, we just come in, and then we move out into the back section here, which is where the rover goes. Don't have to have rover cargo, whatever you want to take with you. I suppose if you're exploring and you find stuff, might be your spoils that you load in here. Dare I try and open this with that rock there? Should we try it? Maybe we should do that let's give it a go.
Uh-oh. What's that? That's where the rover comes out, huh?
God, that was close, wasn't it? Oh, that was extremely close. Like I said, there's no gravity on this one as well, so when you're in space, you're flying around one. I wish they just put gravity generators on all these sort of doors. Similar to what they've done with the Starfarer, your gantry, and the let's call it the mini lift here. Lots more of these doors as well. It says mind your head, so I always thought it was a bit odd. The fact that these are numbered, I'm expecting them to be sort of repairable stuff as well. No idea what that is. There's a panel here.
This is a big ship, man. He's cruising through this, and it's like 26 minutes long.
The good thing is the captain and everyone upstairs can see what's going on downstairs as well from that top deck. So if anyone boards your ship by coming in this way, you're going to see them, literally. And then moving back here, we've got another lift. And then we can pop down here. This is where all the mere mortals live. There's a stone ceiling, but that weighs a bit. Some little beds here. You've got to be a member of this ship.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's no changing rooms. I suppose you could say it's changing rooms. If someone snores or something,
That
it's
makes
going to be really
sense.
annoying, isn't it? I think we've all thought the same thing with these doors. They do look like doors. But the animations don't look strong enough to be a door to me. The centre line doesn't look like a indentation, so I think they're just there for just to cover the wall. Escape pods, 4 of them. And then we go into the changing rooms and also the toilets as well, which you can't open at the moment, unfortunately. Did try both of these. Maybe they haven't finished some of the bits inside the toilets yet.
Go pee before we leave. Bathroom's out of order.
What I'm quite surprised about, I don't know if you've noticed. What I'm thinking is look, there's 4 pods, there's 4 of these doors. Maybe this is where they store all their clothes, because every ship at the moment has somewhere where each person can store their stuff, i.e. your clothes, your guns, all your stuff. I reckon that it's these doors here.
I was going to say that they're lockers.
Would make sense, wouldn't it? Because there's 4 of them as well. And they actually are numbered. 1, 3. Oh, okay, maybe not. There's 1 and 3 as well. Could be the case, but I think they're going to need some sort of storage as well. You can enter the beds. And the level of detail in here as well. Little bit of lag here and there. This is the first PTU launch anyway of 3.2, so we can expect that. FPS is rocking, guys. I'm on
The
a planet at the
wood's
moment.
not the right color
50,
for
55,
the floor.
so not bad. So I'm going to render this one out in
Needs to be darker, I think,
2K,
the
60
wood
FPS, I
on the
suppose.
floor.
Nothing like seeing the ship in its full glory. All these logos around the place as well. So I think I've pretty much explored it all now. I think that's pretty much it. It's a pretty sizable ship. I mean, there's a couple of areas that you think, well, what are they for? But functional areas, there's quite a few. I say functional. Couple of rooms there, we haven't really got the full information on how that system's going to work yet, i.e., the modular system. But overall, what a fantastic ship. And I've said this before in many videos, the longer you wait for a ship, sometimes it's the best news you could ever get, because every new ship that comes out is just way better than any of the others, because technology and the capability of RSI and Star Citizen have evolved so much over the last 4 or 5 years that every ship that comes out that's new now absorbs that new technology, animations, lighting effects. It's just, they're getting more mind-blowing as we go. For me, waiting for my Karak, probably going to be next year sometime. I'm not worried about that really, because I know that once that comes out, it's going to be absolutely awesome. Really looking forward to that.
On you, merchant man.
So
I can't
all
wait.
in all, I'm really impressed with this ship. It looks absolutely fantastic.
Orion,
They've got this design
can't
down to
wait.
an absolute detail now. And I'm really looking forward to taking a look around the other ships that have dropped in this patch as well. Lots of videos coming up. I went a little bit quiet for a while, just waiting on 3.2, purely on the basis that there wasn't a massive amount to talk about, really. Now we've got some content here. Gonna get stuck in and start making some videos on these new ships, and also start doing some missions and doing a bit of gameplay. I'm looking forward to it. So let me know in the comments if you have the 600i. Are you pleased with it? What are your gripes, or what are the bits you like from the ship? The last thing on the agenda today, if you're looking to join a Star Citizen organisation, check out the link in the description below. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.
All right. I think we're about out of Star Citizen news. I did pick a couple things out. Think here.
Good day, guys.
All right, just to bring everybody up to speed, a hobby of mine is arcade, doing arcade. And this weekend, I'm working on a video, and the video's me assembling my arcade cabinet. And inside my arcade cabinet, I have 120 game systems, like game consoles and computers, like Apple II, Apple IIe, Atari 800, Atari 400, Atari 2600, Atari 5200, ColecoVision, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, blah blah blah. And it all goes inside this cabinet. I got like 50,000 games that I can play on this cabinet. And they just released a video of how to get the Xbox games to work. And I thought that since I was going to watch it anyways, I'd watch it with you guys and share something that I do. And you'll be able to watch a video of how I do it soon.
Hey guys, Oster, and in this one today, I have got something very special indeed. Xbox emulation. I'm talking about the original, the OG, the first Xbox that came out and blasted the doors off the scene. It's never been emulated, or at least not to the standard where we would enjoy playing.
Emulation means that it's a somebody made an emulator so you can like download copies of the games. Even legally, if you already own the game, you can get a copy of the game by copying your disc and turning it into a file. And you would take your game file and run it in your emulator on your PC. So basically it turns your PC into whatever you're emulating, which in this case is the Xbox. So you can run Xbox games on your computer.
Yep, there's a few titles that you can play on the 360 with backwards compatibility, but you can't get all the features, you can't get all the titles. There has been emulators that's been developed throughout the years, but all of them have fell flat. Sure, we can get games to boot, but by no means would you ever enjoy playing them. But there's a new day, and that day is coming very soon. I bring to you 2 emulators that are now blowing the doors off Xbox emulation and basking in the glory of all the games that this brings our way. I bring to you the Xbox. Let's get stuck in. So like I said, in this one today, we're going to be focusing on the Xbox emulator, the original Xbox that we love and we remember from our childhood. There has been snippets, there's been rumors, there's been spurts of energy in the emulation scene revolving around the Xbox throughout the decades, and it has been decades since, well, the Xbox gave up the ghost. There has been people working on it, but still, to this day, we have not managed to get, in my eyes, a game working to its full potential where I would actually sit there and play it from start to finish and enjoy it all the way through. And that's not anybody's fault. That's just so many different reasons why it's just been chasing its tail. People start work, people run into issues, people move on. And that grinds to a halt. Then other people get involved, they try to pick up on the code, evolve it, fork it off in different directions to suit their purposes, and it's all for the good of the scene. However, it all just seems to come to a dead end, and it all seems to get forgotten until the next person comes along. Over the last 6 months, I would say, things have really started to blow the doors off. It has been progress that I have never seen before, and I'll go into a lot of detail on that and show you what exactly is coming out just around the corner. In this video today, I'm not going to cover the entire history, go into detail of reasons why, the mythology, and all the stuff that has gone on in the past. It's just far too long. If you are interested in all that kind of stuff, I'll put a link in the description down below. It will guide you to a video made by Frame Rater. It's an awesome full history from start to finish of the evolution of Xbox emulation. If you're into that kind of stuff, I encourage you to watch it. He's done an awesome job. But in this one today, I'm going to be focusing on where we're at in the last, I would say, 6 months and what is happening exactly in the near future. So first off, right now, I would say we have got 2 emulators in full development for the Xbox, and it's good news. I mean, to be honest, I would be happy with one, but having 2, it's awesome. And to be honest, they're both going in what I would say separate directions, but again, both of them very positive and both of them very good ideas. One is Xquemu. This is a fork from the original Quemu or Quemu. I've got no idea how to pronounce this kind of stuff. And this was coded by Espes. And again, my apologies for the pronunciation and all this kind of stuff. Please correct me in the comments down below, because you see it on paper, but you don't actually know how to verbally say this kind of stuff.
I can't wait to get my Xbox games running on my arcade cabinet.
Fork from the original CXBX. If you want to catch up on all the history of these 2 emulators, again, it's all covered in that video, which I linked to earlier. Now, that one is open source. It's made by Lou Kusher, Patrick Viel, and his team. Because it's open source, many people are working on it. So that is what I would say seeing the biggest breakthroughs right now. However, let's not take that away from the emulator I'm going to talk about now, which is, like I said, Xquemu. This has been around for some time, to be honest, but it's kind of stagnated throughout the years. I would say in the last 6 months, again, it's really started to pick up the ball. As you can see in this footage right now, this was released the other day. This is Halo Combat Evolved, now booting,
hey, wise
now
man.
going in game. Yeah, I don't know what you're going to say. It's Halo. We can play this on the PC. But this isn't just Halo. This is the Xbox version of Halo. Very much different. This has split screen multiplayer, one of the most nostalgic things for me when it comes to first person shooters. Only for me, Half-Life even tops this for actual playability and enjoyment, for this kind of nostalgic feedback from back in the day. Also, it's just proof of concept. This is just gameplay from one of many, which I'm sure are about to be unleashed. This is an LLE emulator. That means low-level emulation. To put this into layman's terms, it means that it's actually emulating the system rather than the games. Much work has gone in there to get them exactly emulated as they are on the original console. This takes a lot of time, and to be honest, is one of the reasons why it's taking so long to get to this stage of emulation and why many people give up, because you've literally got to reverse engineer an Xbox and the way it works.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, and what you can do with it is pretty endless, as long as you have access to all the old games. And since I'm so old, I don't throw anything away. I literally have like thousands of boxes of the old like games on cassette tapes, and 5 1/4 floppies, 3 1/2 floppies. Dude, and I honestly, God, I started programming my arcade cabinet like 10 years ago. And it's taken that long to set it up to where it's legal, because I own the games. And they're my personal copies of the game. I mean, you can do it illegally, but if you're gonna like stream it or something like that, then you better make sure that it's legal. So you can do this emulation stuff, but by all rights, you're supposed to own a copy of the game. But are you gonna get caught? No, you're not gonna get caught. If you go on Twitch though, and you stole a bunch of games, then yeah, you would you'd be in trouble.
bring it back to the raw code so everybody understands how it's actually working, then interpret that into an emulator which can work on modern software, on modern hardware, then call in an API to actually render all the graphics, bring in a little bit of input, and then of course get all the games working to the full potential. Now, that's a long journey and it will take a long time, but the payoff at the end would mean, theoretically, is that if you get one game working to its full potential and this succeeds and becomes fruitful, all games will work. And not only will they work, but they'll work exactly as they were on the original systems. To bring this back, examples, NES emulation. That has been around for God knows how long, and there are many different emulators out there that can obviously play NES games. However, Heigen, an awesome emulator, it took years to get to the stage now where it does exactly that. LLE, it's playing it exactly or as close as can be to the original system back in the day, so you get the most authentic gameplay that is possible through modern hardware. And that's the kind of thing that they want to do.
That's what I use for my Nintendo games. And it is, it's really accurate. I play Zelda on it.
It's very limited in what kind of information is out there and reasons why and people talking.
And when you emulate these older games, you can add shaders and modern day graphic effects. So the game looks 10 times better than when it was released. But you can also play it in its original looking form. But once you figure out how to add the shaders and stuff, it's the same game, but it seems like a whole new experience. And some of the games, when they were released, they didn't play, let's say they weren't optimized. Well, now you can like go into there if the game's like not optimized, and you can like increase the CPU power with a little slider bar and make that game that when it was released that didn't play quite well, you can make it play really good. So emulation's actually better than playing the original.
Straight from the whole.
I have Intellivision. I have all the Intellivision games in my cabinet. Pretty much every one but 5 games, and they were like Japanese games that I don't know nothing about.
Horse's mouth and all this. Hopefully in the future we can actually talk to some of the developers again on there to get their feedback and give an honest in-depth discussion on this. But from what I can see, Matt Bergerson, he's the guy who actually give us that gameplay of Halo. I'll put links in the description down below so you can check it out yourself, straight from the horse's mouth. Big props to him. What he's managed to do is take the original code from Quemu, where X-Quemu came from. In other words, it was forked from originally. He's managed to take the more useful parts of it that was developed back in the day, the compatibility, the enhancements, the performance, the bits that were grafted on for all those years and seems to have been missing from the more recent code. He's injected it back in. He's cleaned it all up a little bit. He's made huge breakthroughs in the way the code's been put together, and it's all coming through now. We're seeing these kind of breakthroughs. We're seeing games booting that have never been played before on this emulator. So seeing this kind of progress and people actively working on it, it's just good news for everybody. So hopefully Espes, Matt Bergerson and the team working on it over there can get even more performance, so we can get that kind of compatibility that we just talked about earlier. But this now brings us on to the next emulator, and this one is the best. I saved it for last. It's not like it's a competition or anything, but this one has seen the...
This is the one I'm going to download this weekend and try to get it to work and see what Xbox titles I got in my box, and then I will burn those Xbox games into what's called a bin file. So it takes about 10 minutes or so and make these bin files, and then those bin files is what the emulator will use to run the game.
The biggest breakthroughs more recently, and that's due to the way...
Or you can just go download them But then that makes it illegal.
way that one is coded. This one, for me, if that one was classed as LLA, then I would be saying that this is more them getting the games working, to put it in layman's terms. That was what they wanted from this emulator. The guy who's heading it up over there, Luke Usher, I spoke to him a few years back when he just picked up the reins on this, and the biggest pull that I could say from him, the direction that he wanted to go, was just getting games working. He didn't care how it was done. Well, I'm sure he did, but his biggest thing was just getting games booting, getting people playing on it, and making this an emulator that everybody can enjoy. Then they'll focus on clearing everything up and actually enhancing the emulator even further. But right now, it's all about compatibility and playing games, and that is not a bad thing whatsoever. Of course, short term, it means that we get the games. We get the games to be played, and it's great news all round. But right now, let's focus on this. CXBX Reloaded. What this one's managed to do is absolutely unbelievable. The footage that you're seeing now is what they're putting down as the showcase of version 0.1. The footage was recorded by Aspiral V. Again, apologies for my interpretation of your name, mate. But again, links to the description down below. Check out the full video. This is just a snippet of what is available on there. It's an awesome showcase of all the games that they got working so far, and this is just about to be released to the general public. I'm told by Luke Usher on his Patreon page that this will be available at the end of this month, early July hopefully, and these games will be working. Off the top of my head, we've got Panzer Dragoon Auto, Shenmue 2, Jet Set Radio Future, Dead or Alive 2 and 3, and many, many more. There's been huge breakthroughs with this. I'm seeing games that have never been played before on any Xbox emulator. Not just booting and playing, but from the looks of it, playing to where we can actually enjoy it. And that is the holy grail and all this kind of stuff. Again, I'll put links to the video. I'll put links to the Patreon page. I'll put links to everything that I've discussed in this. They are going to be releasing this, like I said, in the near future. They're also going to be releasing a new website with a compatibility list. Then, apparently, they're going to go quiet for a while while they clean up the code. They work on bug fixes, performance tweaks, and all kinds of stuff to basically nail down and clean up this emulator so then they can push it further even forward to get more games working. And for me, that right there is the holy grail. So there you go, guys. That is basically everything that I've managed to uncover with Xbox emulation that is coming out right now. Again, I hope to get you guys feedback, so put in the comments down below if you got any information on this, if you have any views, any standpoints, which emulator. I'm not saying you want one to succeed more than the other. Hopefully they both come through. I did come across an interesting thread on Reddit evolving around all the discussion of this. It was raised by J Fox Rocks, an awesome figurehead in the emulation community with fingers in many pies of emulators, including Xbox emulation, all kinds. He's just pretty much an all-round top guy. But what he's talked about is theoretically maybe them both joining teams would be ideal. But again, even he raised in that thread that they're both going in separate directions. They both come from different directions also. Maybe they might get to share know-how and insights into how emulation's working and what works in theirs and which one doesn't in others. But because there's two completely different roads, maybe cross-pollination isn't really a thing that's possible. But of course, any help between any teams in the emulation scene has been fruitful in the past, so maybe we'll go along with that. Again, I'll put links to that thread in the description down below so you can peruse at your own leisure if you're into that kind of stuff. It would be awesome, like I said, to talk to everybody involved, including you guys, the actual end user, to see what you think, what you would like to see.
Okay, this guy's name is Simply Austin. He's kind of like one of the big leaders of the emulation community. And because Wiseman asked, and he seems to be interested, I'm going to go a little bit more into the emulation and how you get games to play. And the best spot that I've found is a guy that I've been following from his very beginning. And if you're interested in doing any type of arcade setup, this is what I'm going to recommend you guys to do. And you don't have to build an arcade cabinet. You can do it right on your computer with an Xbox 360 controller. So you need a computer. It can be any kind of computer, really old computer, and an Xbox 360 controller, and you'd be good. I just gotta find them here. Old Pipes 1978. Here's his link right here. Now what Cold Pipes has done is he's made a file server and he's put some games, not all, some games for each system, and the emulators, and also what's called the front end, all in a place where you can download it and start putting it together. And then he's made instructional videos on how to put it together pretty much step by step. And there's two ways you can go with it. You can either go with the Hyperspin setup or the Launchbox setup. And I recommend the Launchbox setup. His Launchbox is just really good. This one's free. And the Launchbox setup, you got to pay like $25 one time. Yeah, BlueStacks is the emulator for Android. So this is the playlist you want. It's the Launchbox and Rocket Launcher full setup. And basically you just start with the very first video, and he walks you through how to put together like each system. And then he'll give you like a link to a download site to where you could get like all the games for the systems, which I think it's Emulators Paradise. This place right here. This is just one of many sites. Then you can get here, and then if you click here, you get your emulators. Like they'll list all the emulators. I mean, this is like going down a great big rabbit hole. No, I have not played XCOM 2. Seems like something that I might want to play. That's like with the aliens and stuff, right? I remember the older XCOM game, like probably the first one, but it was like a long time ago. Yeah, this is where you get the emulators, and then if you go like ROMs and ISOs, let's say you said you wanted it in television. I wonder if it's here. Don't have in television here. The Mattel and television. No. So yeah, you get your ROMs from here. Like in the ROMs are the game files. So if you wanted, say, Sega 32X games, then you'd click here and you'd download the games one at a time. But there's also things called ROM sets where you'll find the download and you'll get all the ROMs for the whole system all at once. And let's say you didn't want to put together your arcade. Let's say you know nothing about computers at all. Then you would go to, I think it's called Home Arcade Systems. I think. Okay. So Home Arcade Systems. This is a guy that I know and I've dealt with for many years, and it's not a scam. So you go here and you go to probably pricing, and you can buy an 8 terabyte hard drive from him with 177 systems, everything working, ready to go. Buy this hard drive right here, stick it in your computer, and your arcade's ready to go. And if it seems shady to you, it's not. It's not shady at all. This guy, you will get your hard drive fast, and you'll get the best customer service if you have any problems of your life. And I can almost swear on that because I had problems with mine, and anytime I had a question, he answered my questions so much. And I didn't even buy anything from him, and he was helping me out. And let me see. He's got a YouTube channel too. Did a review on his arcade cabinet, and it's the same cabinet as mine. I'm gonna use his video to show you exactly what I got going on, but I gotta find his video first. Okay, he makes a lot of videos. Rec Room Master 32-inch, right here. This is my arcade cabinet in its entirety.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, if you remember, maybe you don't, maybe you're new to the channel, back in 2014, I posted reviews on the Rec Room Master's 32-inch cabinet. Now, I've posted a ton of reviews on the Rec Room Master cabinets. I love them. I've had every single one from all the pinballs to the sit-down to the 32-inch Fuelix style. I've had so many. But this is my original. This is the one from 2014 that I published. Had right around 500,000 views, but I have a ton of Rec Room Master customers. And I had one email me last week say, I couldn't wait to get my cabinet built. But one thing that I didn't anticipate is the room my wife is going to give me. She gave me a little nook and cranny. Well, I know the feeling. So this is my nook and cranny with my current Rec Room Master's 32-inch extensions cabinet. Let's take a look. Okay, guys, this is my little nook and cranny of this part of the room. This is my part of the room. And so this is the Rec Room Masters Arcade from 2015. Now, I've owned or own every single version of the Rec Room Masters Arcade, but this one is my favorite. Now, what you'll notice is no crazy outlandish graphics. I actually like the cabinet black. Now, what I've done is
Now, when you're watching this video, he did some modifications. One was he replaced the 2 joysticks with these 4-way, 8-way joysticks, which are really cool, which I think I'm going to do that. And I also bought the hangers that he added for the controllers, and I got the knob that he suggested for the keyboard drawer that you're going to see here in a minute.
I have changed out the marquee for the standard marquee that they offer. If you look up top, I've got fading LED lights, and they fade between all different kinds of colors. It's all random. I've switched out the controls for Ultra Lux buttons by Ultimark. Use 8 4-way, 8-way switchable mag sticks. Now, I just noticed as I'm making this video.
Now, if you guys don't know why it's 4-way, 8-way, is because on games like, say, Pac-Man, the games were made with 4-way joysticks. Meaning if you go in an angle on accident, your Pac-Man's not going to go in the direction that you want it to. So basically you would lift up on that stick, give it a turn, and then it would go to 4-way mode for like games like Pac-Man. And for games that use 8-directional joysticks, you would lift it up again and give it a turn and go to the 8-way. Right now mine are currently 8-way. But I'm jealous of these sticks, and yeah, I'm gonna get them.
Oh, looks like I have a short in one of my buttons, which I am going to, oh, there it goes, take apart and fix that short. Up top, if you notice, I have a sensor for the Ultimark light gun. I am a huge Ultimark fan. I don't think you're gonna find any better arcade products anywhere. Inside,
and I want to buy the light gun, and I'm also going to put a Wii bar up on top so the Wii works with it also.
5 1/4 punch Rockford Fosgate speakers. And instead of leaving the controls sitting right here on this little shelf, what I've done is I've installed these little hangers, which you can find on Amazon for about $5. And these hangers will sit right below the shelf. That way, whenever you get a system or select a system like PlayStation 2 or GameCube or anything like that, you can just pick up the 360 controller, and when you're not using them, they're out of the way, and it actually looks pretty good. For the coin door, it is actually functional as a power button. So if I press this coin return in right now, it will turn off the machine. I can also obviously cut on the machine that way. On the side, I've got the Ultimark light gun, which I have to update and test every single time I update MAME. For some reason, it just gets a little wonky. But for right now, everything's working. Up top, I have my Atari Cart vinyl recreations. These are the original Atari.
I remember those boxes. How about you guys?
Mine named Tom does a great job with that stuff. And if my wife only knew how I hung these up here, she'd probably kill me. But they are held up with industrial 2-sided tape. So if these come down, the drywall is probably coming with it. I've got Space Invader art there, which I got on Amazon for $5. And if you take a look, you you've got the Mario art on the wall, wrapping all the way around to the corner, as well as this corner.
I would be more like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter type graphics. If I was to do it, I wouldn't go so, I don't know, so Mario. But then again, he's younger than me, so.
On my shelf, I've got Nintendo kart coasters, my Rubik's Cube, which I've never solved, a Pac-Man LED clock that is way too expensive. These figurines are from Disney's Infinity game, where I got Wreck-It Ralph, and I got a whole bunch of them, hundreds of them. Down below, I've got the Pac-Man fading LED. These are Space Invader glow-in-the-dark figurines, which I've only had them glow maybe once. Down below is the handheld arcade collection, which they do work. I've got the Cubert, Space Invaders, Centipede, and Pac-Man. A lot of people don't like the Pac-Man, but I actually do because it reminds me of my Pac-Man watch that I had in 5th grade. Down below are the electronic football.
I had that football game. I had that.
And my original Bambino electronic football. And they all work as well. So that is my arcade cabinet. This is my primary arcade cabinet. And inside of the cabinet is a machine that I've had in there since 2015. It is an Intel i5 4690K with a NVIDIA GTX 960 OC edition, not overclocked. There's no need for it to be. There's a 6 terabyte drive, a 2 terabyte drive for Steam games, and a 1 terabyte drive for backups. So all it does is just back up the OS. The OS is housed on a 120 gig SSD. With the entire machine, I do believe only has 12 gigs of RAM, and it functions perfectly. So this is my
This right here is what's in my arcade cabinet. I got like this crazy laptop. It's about $4,000. It's the MSI GT73 VR. It's got a 1070 in it and a 4-core i7 processor. All right. Trying to think about what else I wanted to show. Something more about my arcade cabinet. Oh, I was going to show you the difference between Launchbox and Hyperspin. So Hyperspin you can get this for free. This is what comes on the hard drives if you buy it from Chris, the guy that just showing off his cabinet. His website's the Home Arcade Systems. And this is exactly what you'll get. This is what it's going to look like. So you'll get the menu on the left side. When they go to switch the games, you'll see like he's going to different systems right now, not different games. This is a system that was real popular in Europe. This is Atari. So this would be what Hyperspin is. And the reason why they put Hyperspin on the drives that they sell to people is because it's freeware, where Launchbox is a paid program and they can't give you a paid program. You got to put that together yourself. But if you do Launchbox, you'll end up with something that looks like he's got a Launchbox showcase, I'm sure. Oh, Hyperspin versus Launchbox. That'd be a good way to show you. Launchbox showcase. A Launchbox, you can get different themes where you can put the menu on any side you want. Every game, you get like a full, like what year it was. You can pull up the manuals for the games. I just like Launchbox better. It's just got more stuff. You need a stronger computer to run it. But as you can see, compared to just the games being on the side and you selecting it, it's a lot more detailed. This is what I got on my cabinet right now is Launchbox. But you have to go to Cold Pipe 1978's YouTube channel, and you gotta like do all the downloads and follow his instructions. No lie, you're gonna have 100 hours invested in putting your Launchbox together. No lie, 100 hours at least, maybe more. You want everything. This brings back memories, this game. This is 007 on the PlayStation, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. PlayStation 1, 007. But anyways, guys, that's what I've been spending my free time on, is building that arcade cabinet. And then I was gonna have like a retro night and do some old school arcade games. And I think I'm gonna end the stream here tonight, and we'll find somebody to host in the Star Citizen genre. We'll see who's gonna be the lucky person. And I did have a great time with you guys. And I hope you come back next week, Wednesday, and I'll do the Star Citizen news again. And this time I couldn't get nobody to fly with me because I think it's because it's the PTU and nobody has it downloaded. So by Friday, we'll be playing on the live version. So hopefully I'll be able to get some people to fly around and show off the verse next Wednesday. So, never seen this Time of Chaos guy. Never seen him. Give Time of Chaos a host. I'll go in there with you and we'll all say hi to this guy. What he's all about. Hopefully he speaks English. Hey, good night, everybody. It was a really good time. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Much for the host there, buddy. Really appreciate that. Welcome to all of the viewers. You're almost welcome here. I'm just trying to survive on the server a little bit without a crash, folks, because I've crashed a few times in a row and I'm not sure why. Let's reclaim that. So it would take 10 minutes. KYML, you were asking, weren't you? That was free for 10 minutes, but if I want to pay 119 UEC, I can get it in 2 minutes. Now, 109 UEC or whatever that was, that's like one mission. Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Can we have a shout out, TriStar, in chat? I hope you're gonna throw some follows towards TriStar, because he's supporting the channel, so you should support them. It's always nice to have a random. In fact, on that note, let me make sure I'm following you right now. So, you a Star Citizen? Do you stream Star Citizen? You a follow, and then hopefully I can return the host sometime. Am I already following you? I'm not. I am now. Can be a bit hard to tab in and out of this game sometimes. Yeah, man, if I catch you on, I'll try and catch your stream.